The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
What?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink.
Stop! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Here we go, Tuesday, August 19th. I'm AJ Hawk sitting in for Pat as he travels the world, I believe, right? Boys doing something pretty awesome I think we'll all see eventually. Football! It's what we do. It's August 19th. I know sometimes people think there may not be a whole lot to talk about in the football world, but guess what? There is. Coming right off the top, we had some breaking news hit about 45 minutes, maybe an hour ago. 9-year NFL vet Darius Butler is jumping out of his shoes. He is so excited. Daniel Jones has been named the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. Clap it up, boys.
For DJ. Daniel Jones, baby.
Clap it up, yes.
Hell yeah.
Excuse me. Get emotional. I'm talking about this QB battle.
Big day.
Been a believer for a long time, man.
Darius Butler, let's go to you. Obviously, Indianapolis Colt legend, 9-year NFL vet. You know everything about football. So
I'd say that.
The fact that Daniel Jones was announced starting quarterback today, I guess, what does that do for the Colts? What does that do for the team? And were you expecting this, or did you think Anthony Richardson was getting?
I was not expecting it. I didn't know. I didn't know which way it was going to go. I'm not, shocked. But AR, he had an opportunity. DJ Daniel Jones had an opportunity as well. AR, I felt like it was probably his job to lose, so he couldn't beat out Daniel Jones. And the people that I've talked to, I guess, around the organization, close to it, who have seen the battle, didn't seem shocked, didn't seem surprised. So that lets me know. And I said it yesterday, the locker room won't be surprised. You know this as well. If it's a quarterback battle, you probably weren't around many quarterback battles thinking of the teams you played with. But if there's any time a quarterback battle is happening, the locker room shouldn't be surprised when the starter is announced. So it's another opportunity for Danny Dimes. He is somewhat a relatively young quarterback. We have seen more of him on the football field. So AR, still younger, still more upside, but you got to think about it. Shane Steichen, Chris Ballard, they're coaching for their job. With Parley taking over the ownership role, everybody knows they're coaching, they're playing for their jobs day in and day out. So this is a decision made with that in mind. Consistency was a big thing for Shane. Based on my timeline, doesn't seem like Coach Nation is very, very excited. It's been a revolving door, and you drafted a guy in the top 5, so you had high expectations. But this is where we are right now. We made some moves, and now we know which direction we're going. So Daniel Jones is our guy going forward.
That's my thing. Like the Colts Twitter is very, very mad about the decision. And I understand being mad because, yes, this basically signals, not for sure, not 100% that you wasted a top 5 pick on a quarterback that has not worked out. So, yeah, as a fan base, when you waste a top 5 pick on a quarterback, that sets you back a lot of years. But being like really, really mad at Shane Steichen for picking Daniel Jones, I don't get. I don't think they're picking Dan Jones because they want to lose.
Yeah.
I assume they were at practices and watched the film and watched both these quarterbacks and decided that Dan Jones was the best quarterback at this time to win games. So I don't understand why they're so mad at Shane Steichen. I can see them being mad at Ballard because he was the one that drafted Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
Or they're just mad at Shane Steichen because they're saying they didn't give him enough time to grow as a quarterback.
I mean, I thought people were pissed because Stinkin said, "Hey, he's our guy for the whole."
Coach Steichen.
Yes.
Steichen.
Yeah. Bingo. What you guys said. That he basically said, "Hey, Daniel Jones is the QB for the entire season." I thought that's why Colts Nation was so pissed because it really doesn't make any sense. I like that he's saying like, "Hey, this guy's got no leash. Go out there, spin it. It's not as if you throw a couple picks, we're going to pull you. But if they're 2-6 going into week 9, and Steichen is up there saying, hey, Dan Jones is still our guy, you got to put AR in, because now everyone's talking about, okay, so they're done with Anthony Richardson. But then if you listen to what Chris Ballard said before, Chris Ballard said, like, hey, this isn't a make or break year for Anthony Richardson. So maybe like the 5th-year option, there's no way you can really pay someone give someone a 5th-year option, especially at QB, if they don't play this year. But if Danny Dimes goes and balls out and his number is like astronomical, and Steichen and them keep their jobs, and AR has another year, to learn, do you think it's possible that they can bring AR back and see, like, you know what? Yesterday, he took an entire season. There was no injuries. There was no off-the-field stuff. He just learned behind Danny Dimes. Like, do you think there is a realistic route where that could happen? Or, hey, if Danny Dimes does well, the Colts are going to inevitably pay him to keep him here. There's no way AR can.
It's a great problem to have, obviously, if Daniel Jones steps in and plays so well that they have to pay him a bunch of money. But what do you do with Anthony Richardson? I don't know. I mean, now you got to think about Anthony Richardson also mentally throughout the rest of the season. Like, you got to be ready. We're one play away, obviously, but it's got to be like a jarring blow when you're thinking, hey, I'm going in, here we go. Year 2, I'm healthy now, I feel good. He's done everything and came into camp in shape, all this stuff. And then you realize, hey, I'm not getting the starting nod. But that's the thing, though. You have to realize you're one play away. There will be a time this season when they're going to need Anthony Richardson. I don't know how long that might be for. Might only be a series. Might only be for a quarter, maybe a game or two, maybe 10 games. We don't know, but you have to be ready, Ty, right?
Well, like Connor was saying, like, obviously Steichen, like him saying that Danny Dimes is going to be the starter the whole year is just posturing. Like, that's bullshit. We know that's not the case. If they start 0-4, like, they're going to go to Anthony Richardson. So it's one of those things where, but I don't know. You guys would know more, but like you said, like, the locker room's not shocked. Like, you can't really pout or anything because Anthony Richardson had every opportunity to win this job. Like, and if it would have been even somewhat close, like, they're probably going with Anthony Richardson, right? So Daniel Jones went out and he won this job, like, and left no doubts. So, I don't know, but it's also, you're looking at what he's done in his past, in his career. Like, it's not like you're backing up Aaron Rodgers and it's like, okay, unless this guy gets hurt, I have no opportunity of playing. Like you mentioned, like, there is a good chance that they're going to need him to play this year, and he could play himself into the starting role within a couple weeks if they don't play well.
Yeah, it's damn near the Baker Mayfield situation, verbatim, especially just when you look at the Colts offense. Now, they don't have, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, but Michael Pittman's been paid. He's very, very good. Yep. And then they have a couple guys on there that you would assume if they have a good season, they might get paid. Josh Downs, maybe not A.D. Mitchell because it's only his second year, but when you look at just their skill in general, it is like Baker going to, bingo. It is like him going to Tampa Bay. And if Danny Dimes is legitimately probably thinking to himself, like, here we go. If I go out there and win 9 games, like, I probably earn myself a $40 million contract again.
He saw it last year. He finished the season with the Vikings. Like, he saw Darnold do it. Like, it has happened more lately than I feel like it did.
Yeah, I guess who's the next guy? Who's the next QB to kind of revamp your career?
It's happening like every year now.
Yeah, Gino,
Darnold, Baker, like, it's happening all the time now.
Yeah, and he's a first round pick, so he obviously has to be excited. He has all that we talked about. He has all the pieces, and I said it earlier. It is the NFL. It's not for long. Coaches are coaching for their job. Chris Ballard is GMing for his job, and I feel like he's done his job to put a good roster together around these quarterbacks. And he has to feel somewhat good because you go out and take a shot drafting Anthony Richardson, but then you bring Daniel Jones in, who had a competitive market somewhat. Like, other teams wanted Daniel Jones to come in and play for him, so you bring him in, and then Daniel Jones wins the job. So now, okay, you rest on you use the piece around it. Jonathan Taylor, the offensive line, the pieces on defense. Who you got to get healthy and they have to play better. Bringing in Lou over to call the shots on defense. So you have some hope, but as a team, as a locker room, it is good. You hate not really having that direction, not really knowing who your guy is. And we just mentioned those names: Sam Darnold, Geno Smith, Baker Mayfield, who have revived their careers in different places. So it will be that opportunity there. It'll be tough for Daniel Jones. It is good, being named the starter for the year, but he knows. I'm sure he hears the noise. He knows the fans aren't clamoring. The fans aren't. Yeah, the fans aren't. But he's coming from New York too, so he's used to kind of dealing with those things, man. But it's going to be loud. It's going to be tough. But as Colts fans, I'm sure you're frustrated. A lot of people are kind of, I'm seeing a lot of Arch Manning, Brock Pittman.
He's not coming out next year,
that's what they're saying now. We'll see. But I'm still hopeful as a Colts fan. I got to be optimistic. It is August 19th. So we got our guy, and both of these guys, regardless of who won the job, I felt like we would have seen the other quarterback at some point in the season, just based off what we've seen with these guys, not only just playing wise, but health wise. These aren't like necessarily Iron Men up until this point in their career, at least. So I think this isn't the last we've seen of AR, and I hope he stays prepared. He stays ready for his next opportunity, whether that's here or somewhere else.
And for the AR side, you can, I don't know, maybe give Bryce Young a call because he got benched last year. So, and he's come back and he looked
number one pick.
Yes, number one pick. Looked really good. Has looked really good in training camp this year. They love what they're seeing going in. So you can come back from this.
True. How difficult is it though? With like the whole thing with AR has been like, hey, this guy needs reps. He needs to play, and it's like, okay, he's not going to be getting any reps. Yeah. So it's like, how does he actually get better when like all the physical stuff is there, but that is his biggest thing. Is like this guy needs to actually play football to get better at it.
True. It's tough because it's true. Like, you're going to want to give all your reps to your starting quarterback.
Correct.
Like, especially even if you throw a couple reps here and there to Anthony Richardson, hey, take the last couple of walkthrough or, a few here, you're definitely going to have reps for him. But if you're not the guy and you're not the one that is going to be in there, of course we got to focus on who's going to be in there on game day. Like, that's going to get the majority of our attention and the majority of the reps. So for Anthony Richardson, how do you continue to develop when you're not getting those valuable reps? It's like the whole cliche. You got to get the mental reps. You got to prepare like you are the starter. Yeah, you do. Yeah. Sometimes that's hard to do for 17 straight weeks.
Yeah. Do you think they have to? This is like hey, you kind of have to trade this guy type of situation.
Anthony Richardson?
No. Anthony Richardson. Yeah. Like if you're.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. It's not like a when you have a guy with such a big, I guess, brand, and it's just going to cause a lot of distraction, like a Cam Newton or a Tim Tebow, or it's not one of those type situations. I don't think it'll be a distraction because we all saw his career, and how it's unfolded when he had the opportunity last year and the year previous with the injury and everything like that. So we've all seen it, and we know why he's the backup. And these guys, we see the preseason games, but we know that's just glorified practice. Those are 2-3 practices from these guys compared to whatever else they're doing in front of the teams and in front of the front office. So I don't think it's a situation. I think you still, you try to develop him, and once that opportunity comes, you got to harp on him to be ready, and it's going to be on him. Like we're talking about, get him reps and develop him. Yeah. And it's a National Football League.
Yeah,
like
right.
we're feeding each other's families. Like I'm responsible for you and the food you put on your plate, and same for coaches, same for people in the front office. So yeah, you want the best for Anthony Richardson, but if I'm Chris Ballard, Daniel Jones better get these reps, and I want to see him getting better week in and week out. And the same for Shane, and everyone else in that building.
Yeah, somebody, we're not going to keep waiting on the line any longer. Somebody who probably has a little more info on this situation. He's the host of the Move the Sticks pod. We all know that. But before we even get to this, great DJ, hold on a second. I know you're waiting for us, but check out this Dr. Pepper.
Look at that Dr. Pepper.
Wow. Kidding me, Dr. Pepper.
Ice cold.
Official drink of the Thunderdome. If you don't like Dr. Pepper, you're not an American, probably. That's
well said.
Right?
Well said.
That's as simple as it can be. And with that being said, please welcome Mr. Daniel Jeremiah. Daniel, what's happening, brother?
What's up, boys?
DJ, are you surprised at all that Daniel Jones is named starter for the Colts? Did you know this was coming weeks ago? How do you feel about this?
I wasn't really surprised. I mean, I just thought, with Daniel Jones, it's the little bit of the unknown which works in his favor, in terms of being inside the building there. I thought Anthony Richardson, normally you'd say the tie goes to the young guy. I just think it had been such kind of a rocky experience that they wanted to try something new. So he was going to have to be significantly better than Daniel Jones. And, the preseason, I didn't think there was a huge gap between those guys. But, talking to people that had been in there during training camp and everything, you could kind of see this swinging towards Daniel Jones.
Daniel, can we tell enough from preseason games, especially with quarterback play? You can look at numbers and all that. I know sometimes they can get inflated if a guy takes a screen pass 65 yards for you or whatever, gives you some good-looking stats. But can we tell when we're watching these preseason games with quarterbacks, I feel like unless I'm there day in and day out watching practice and seeing, hey, how's the 2-minute drill going? How's it going? Move the sticks, all of that stuff. How do we can you evaluate quarterbacks from these preseason games?
I've always said preseason is a liar. So there's been times every single year where people will take something from the preseason and they run with it, and then there ends up being absolutely nothing to it. Now, with quarterbacks personally, I think you can see, is the game too fast for guys? It's only going to get faster when you get to the regular season. So especially with, rookies and young guys, you get a sense of just how sped up they are. Are they a little bit under control? Is there some poise there? I think those are the types of things that you can glean from that. I don't know that the production in terms of what the stat sheet looks like, the box score, if that tells you who's played well and who hasn't played well. But you can see, you guys know when you get rookies out there, young players out there, you can tell guys that, okay, he's going to be able to help us. That's kind of the way I look at it.
Yeah, DJ, speaking of quarterbacks, Ty Schmidt has a question for you.
Yeah, DJ, so speaking of that, the preseason being a liar and everything, how enthused were you on Caleb Johnson's performance the other night with
Caleb Williams?
Oh, Caleb Williams.
Mixed both him and Ben Johnson.
Yeah, I did. Thinking Ben Johnson.
That's impressive.
But, everyone saying same thing, vanilla defense, but he obviously looked unbelievable. What do you take away from his start the other night?
Yeah, I was fired up. If nothing else, it just kind of gave you a display of the weapons, especially with Loveland being in the mix now. You saw Burden get one later on in the game. So I think it was just kind of a display of okay, the offensive line it's more competent now with the upgrades they made along the interior. We've got weapons, and it was kind of a chance for Ben Johnson to show off some of the creativity, which I think has been lacking there last year under Caleb. So, I've never, ever questioned Caleb's ability. I think the talent is all there. I thought more than anything else, even more so than the offensive line and the scheme, they need somebody to kind of pump him back up full of confidence. And, you watch that preseason game, again, more so than the stats or the throws. This looked like the old kind of confident Caleb Williams when he was rolling in college.
Comment. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, DJ. Thank you, AJ. DJ, great to see you. Always a pleasure. You had a great tweet about New England last night. Obviously, Terry McLaurin not there for the Commanders. Trey Hendrickson was on the field for talking to Duke Tobin, and then Micah obviously being the other guy. And you basically said, hey, look, if you're Elliott Wolf and the New England Patriots, you at least, shoot your shot at Jerry Jones, try and go after Micah Parsons. I believe there was another tweet about the Packers possibly being one of those teams with Micah. Everyone's interested in all three of these guys if they are truly available. Who do you think any of these guys are going to end up with? And do you think Terry's probably going to go back to Washington? Maybe Trey Hendrickson, the price goes down in a week or two and then he gets traded. What do you kind of foresee when it comes to these guys?
Well, first of all, I hadn't been on the show since we were going through the draft stuff, and I thought, gosh, what do I have to do to get back on the show? And I'm like, oh, dude, if I tweet about the Patriots, I'll be on.
You're killing me. You're killing me.
Yeah, so that was the easy way to approach that. No, look, when it's rare to see these guys, personnel guys, never go on the record on anything. Everything's always vague and nondescript. So when Elliott Wolf comes out there and publicly says, yeah, no, shoot, we'd be willing to trade a first or second round pick for a premier player, I was like, I don't know that you say that unless you really are trying to, be aggressive and go after one of these guys. So that caught my attention. And then the first two names that came up were McLaurin and Hendrickson. And I'm like, okay, well, if we're going to go big game hunting, well, you might as well swing for the fences on that one. If you look at it and say, okay, we've got the young quarterback, he doesn't cost us anything. We can afford a big ticket item. Then shoot, I would start at the very top. Now, I don't think Jerry Jones, I don't even know if he takes the call, much less would entertain trading Micah, but I would at least effort that. I think the more realistic one would be Hendrickson. I don't even think McLaurin gets traded. I think with where they are with their young quarterback and a team that was very close last year, against the Eagles in the championship game, I figure that as soon as we get closer to the regular season, that thing gets worked out there in Washington. But Hendrickson, the Bengals, that just seems like that's not going in the right direction, and they seem to be, at least by all accounts, a little more open to moving him. So I don't know. I like the fact that the Patriots kind of put themselves out there and said, "Hey, man, we're open for business. We want to be aggressive." That's not normally something you hear.
DJ, as far as Hendrickson goes, I know they claim that they're close on the average per year that he wants, but the guarantees are nowhere near what Hendrickson's want. Do you have any idea what those numbers may look like and what kind of deal he's looking for?
No, I have to go I think Ian or one of those guys would be able to help you on the number thing in terms of where they are. I was talking to an agent who had a player this last offseason and a team, as they were going through a negotiation, and kind of hearing the stuff that gets out there publicly and then getting a peek behind the curtain of how, far or how close they are. Sometimes what's out there in the public and then what, the differences are on the numbers can be drastically different. So you can be close in one or two areas, but if you're the agent on the player, if there's one of those criteria where they're not in the same ballpark, that's tough to get through.
Yeah, go ahead, D-Butt.
What's up, DJ? Good to see you. Quarterback battles. We just named Flacco got named yesterday. Daniel Jones got named today. There's one more out there down in New Orleans with Tyler Shuck and Spencer Rattler. Which way do you think they're going to go with that battle, and when do they announce it?
I can just tell you which way I would go. I would go with Shuck, just from seeing him live against the Chargers in that first preseason game, and then watching him a little bit last week. I think there's more to kind of dream on. This doesn't feel like it's a playoff, type season for this squad. So let's learn what we've got. And to me, he offers more upside. Let Kellen work with him. Kellen does a nice job with the screen game. They'll give him some opportunities to have some success. I don't see them winning a whole lot of ball games, but he's shown enough to me that I'd be intrigued to see what he looks like. And they can go into the draft next year knowing what they have with him. So in terms of the timing of it, I think sooner than later you want to get that done, just so you can, as you guys were discussing, prioritize and divvy up those reps and get him ready to go. So that he's an older guy too, man. He's got freaking 4 degrees. It's not like this is a long development here.
25 or 26?
Get him out
26,
there. Yeah, he's 25. We had the game against the Chargers, and I think Trey Lance either the same age or maybe even younger than him. He's been in the league 5 years.
Jeez. That's awesome.
Speaking of quarterbacks that have been around for a while, Tone Diggs has something for you, DJ.
Yeah, I do, Mr. Sticks. There's a potential situation brewing in New York with the Giants because Jackson Dart has played so well in those first 2 preseason games. Now, Brian Daboll named Russell Wilson the starter a while ago, but we know Daboll could be coaching for his job this season, so it's like you want Russell Wilson because he's the veteran and he's going to make the right decisions. But then if you put Jackson Dart in at some point and he shows flashes, they may keep you around just because they want to keep that continuity together. How do you feel about the situation in New York and how Jackson Dart has looked so far in his first 2 preseason games?
Yeah, I really like the way that he's looked, and that goes back to just, he looks like the game is pretty slow for him, which is good to see. It's a lot of vanilla stuff in the preseason, but he looked very much in control. He can move around and create and make plays with his legs, but he's done a nice job hanging in the pocket, showing that toughness that he has and delivering some strikes, working in the middle of the field, which is another good sign for a young quarterback that he's comfortable. He doesn't just stay and live on the perimeter. He's comfortable working in the middle. I've said the same thing, since they drafted him. I think this is a year where we see more of Jackson Dart than we see of Russell Wilson. But, Russell Wilson, give us a month, man. Give us a month or 6 games.
Yeah, DJ.
Let this kid.
Do you think they have a plan?
Yeah.
Do you think Daboll has some kind of plan in mind? Or hey, Russ, you play yourself out of the job, or what? You just keep going until we feel like you're not getting it done, Russ, or what?
Yeah, look, dude, the schedule is brutal. Their schedule, there's no easy entry point for a young quarterback when you look at it. But I've been around teams and been on teams where the plan is hey, this guy's going to sit the whole year. We don't want to play him. We're going to redshirt him basically. And then 2 games into the season, you're like, well, frick, we might as well just throw this guy out there. So whatever the plans are, they have a way of changing. But I think we'll see more of Dart this year than we do of Russell Wilson.
Yeah, DJ, I had to follow, but when you were talking about Chuck and the Saints and kind of seeing what they have for next year's draft, I know from listening to Move the Sticks that you've already dove into the quarterbacks from last year. I was listening to you guys around the time of the Manning Passing Academy, and everyone was very, very impressed with Sellers there. Who do you see being the top quarterback in next year's draft? Because I know Arch probably not coming out, but Sellers, Nuss, Cade, all those guys.
Yeah, let's assume that Arch is going back to school. I guess when you say it's the first time with a prospect I've ever said I'll take his grandfather's word for it.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to come out. So Dude, a lot can change and guys get better and guys, regress. But I popped on Sellers, and I don't know if I had a good round of golf that day or what, but I was like, holy crud. Like, this dude is impressive. He is big. He is physical. He can drive the ball. He creates. I thought this dude is he'd be someone that's going to be really exciting to watch. So I'll be watching a lot of South Carolina. Nuss is just real efficient. He would be underneath him right there for me. Just accurate, efficient, tough. Excited to see him this year. I'd have Klubnik a little bit below Nuss, but shoot, we'll see those guys score off week 1, so that might settle itself.
Yeah. DJ, how do you feel about the whole Matthew Stafford situation right now? I know he's back at practice now, finally. He's dealing with some kind of back injury, I guess. Like, do you know anything more, and how comfortable are you with him, I guess, being able to make it through the whole season?
Yeah, I mean, at back, dude, I don't think you mess around with that. So I don't know how anybody could say you feel great about it or you feel super confident, comfortable about it. The only thing that I would say that I just witnessed it again the other day with Rams, they're playing their backups, and they're so well coached, man, and they're so physical, even with their backup unit. They're going to be dynamic on defense with that front. And then you look at what they want to do running the football. They've got some backs now. They got a stable of backs and a real physical, offensive line, and McVay scheming it up. I don't know that they're going to be super, quarterback dependent. So, even if Stafford, I wouldn't be saying like, hey, let's just get him ready for the playoffs, like that. You can't do that in the NFL. But I don't know that he needs to play a full 17 games or be kind of the driving force of that offense for them to be a really, really good team and a playoff team.
Go ahead, Tosh Schmidt.
DJ, what are your expectations for Cam Ward this year? It seems like draft night, he went first unceremoniously, and we kind of swept right over it with Travis Hunter, getting traded up for right after that. And even this preseason, he's had a couple nice throws, but he hasn't really wowed anyone, and he hasn't really been part of the conversation like a lot of these other guys have been. What are your expectations for him this year?
I went out there and saw him at training camp, and I'll be honest with you, just watching him at practice and then watching the preseason, I'm way more concerned about the guys catching it and the guys blocking for him than I am for him. I think he's going to be good, and you saw some big time throws in the preseason that just weren't always hauled in. Ridley's a stud; like he's going to get a ton of balls, but they've got they're going to have a mixture of some vets like Lockett, and they've got some young kids like Io Manor as a rookie. But I don't think the offensive line is quite where it needs to be. But I was talking to some of their coaches and stuff, and I'm like, saying it nicely, but hey, the good news is last year you guys were bad and boring. I don't think you're going to be boring. I don't think you're going to be boring this year with Cam. He's going to make it kind of fun, and you'll see some splash plays. But they're in the very early stages of building out that roster. They earned the first pick.
Yeah, I guess that is true. You do earn that thing. But speaking of teams that might be under the radar a little bit, the Seattle Seahawks. What do you make of them this year? I think Sam Darnold out there. I'm very curious how he looks. Obviously, played great last year, earned himself a contract with the Seahawks. Maybe we're biased because they're so far out there. We don't talk about them as much. But what do you think of the Seahawks this year?
I really like what I've seen. And again, I'm trying to not contradict what I said earlier about not getting too overzealous here in the preseason. But man, like Kubiak, that system fits Sam Darnold perfectly. Sam looks confident and comfortable. You can move him around. They upgraded that offensive line. Gray Zabel's probably been the best rookie in the preseason if you just want to look at how they've played and what they've done. To put him along the interior of that offensive line, he can get up to the second level. He's going to help them have a firm pocket, pass protection. He's a really good player. So I love what they've done, and they've got a lot of good young pieces on defense. They're fast. So, I'm high on them. I think they got a good shot to win that division.
What about that backfield? Who's going to be the starting back? I saw you make a comment about Charbonnet maybe being a better fit than Kenneth Walker. Where do you see them leaning with that backfield?
Yeah, I mean, look, Kenneth Walker is explosive and talented, and he's a really good football player. I just think Charbonnet, with some of the stuff they're doing, I just think he sees it a little faster. He's a little bit better fit in that regard. I think they're both going to get out there and play a ton. But I just was watching Charbonnet, and I'm watching this system, and where the creases are going to be different when you're running that stuff, and he's just got a really, really good feel when you're stretching it to sort and see it go. So I was impressed with what I saw with him. We'll see how they divvy it up as we go throughout the year, but that's a good problem to have.
Yeah, DJ, we saw some good ball last night, Monday Night Football. Tone Diggs has a few questions about that.
Yeah, DJ, I feel like you are the man to ask. You would know more about this guy than others. The rookie, what is it, Bill Krosky-Merritt, was Jacory Krosky-Merritt. I believe he was at UNLV for a year and then didn't play last year at Arizona maybe. So, but the internet is a buzz with him, especially with the Brian Robinson Jr. trade rumors. What's your scouting report on this guy?
Yeah, he's tough, man. You go back, you look, he went to the East-West Shrine game is where he kind of popped. And so you go and watch him. He was healthy. Like, kudos to him. He could have, he gets hurt. He could have just said, I'm just going to wait and get to the, get to a pro day and show that I'm healthy. But he went to the All-Star game and did a really nice job there. And he's had, he tested well. He ran well. So, he's got some speed. He's a hard physical runner. He helped himself a ton late in the process. And then I talked to Adam Peters maybe a week into training camp, just checking in with him. He's a San Francisco Giants fan, mostly making fun of him for how bad the San Francisco Giants are. But just asking about these young guys, and this was the first one that he mentioned, just how fired up and excited he was with what he'd seen. So, they found themselves one.
Why is he a late pick, DJ?
Because he wasn't healthy. He just hadn't had a healthy, whole process. And it's a running back, and there's always a ton of running backs. So,
and they don't value running backs anymore for some reason. We don't value.
Well, no, I don't think it's much that. I just think that it's hard to evaluate running backs in college because it's such a space game, right? So there's so much space. You can have a lot of guys that are real productive. So when you're stacking up guys, like, okay, well, this guy missed a huge chunk of the year, doesn't have as much of a resume, that kind of dings him.
All right, go ahead, man.
Yeah, DJ, team that values running backs is the team you kind of call every Sunday, the Chargers.
Kind of.
What are the vibes out of Chargers camps? Obviously, Slater goes down. It sucks. He's done for the year right after getting paid. But aside from that, kind of how is the mood, the vibe of the Chargers camp? And how's Trey Harris doing? I feel like we've heard a lot about Keandre Lambert-Smith, the kid who kind of made a name early, and he's been the early wide receiver everyone's been talking about in camp. But what about Trey Harris? What about Hampton? How are the Chargers going to be this year for you?
Well, look, it's going to be fun. Last week in the preseason, Trey Harris kind of had his coming out party. So it didn't have a lot of opportunities in the first 2 weeks, in the Hall of Fame game and in that game against the Saints. But I think he had 5 for 85 or something like that, and was showing kind of all the different things he can do. He can work in the middle of the field, had a nice toe tap on a deep ball from Trey Lance down the sideline. Someone who is a former quarterback in high school, he sees everything really well. He's going to be a good player. Now, with Lambert-Smith, he gives you more of the juice and the explosiveness, the big play stuff. I thought, that game the other day, Quentin Johnson gets dinged early, and he went. They put him right in, so he was in there with the ones, and Herbert hits him on a corner route. So he's already got the trust of Justin Herbert, which is a good thing to have. So Hampton, he looks enormous, and we haven't had a chance to see him much in the preseason, but in practice, talking to all the coaches every week, they love him. So he's going to be running the rock for sure.
DJ, I don't want to put you on the spot too much here, but is there a player or maybe a team that we're sleeping on that isn't getting the pub that you feel like they deserve that, and maybe 2-3 months from now we're talking about a lot, and they're like an everyday guy that we're talking about?
Question, AJ.
Oh, that is a great question. I was thinking team-wise, and I'm not sucking up to the room, but I was thinking just looking over the rosters the other day. I was like, who are the most improved teams? New England was up there as one of the most improved teams.
I thought he was going to say the Steelers.
No. But I'll say this about Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh that defense has a chance to be the best defense in the NFL. And the offensive line with all these young guys, and Fatanu looks really, really good out there at right tackle.
Project's
the
not
tight end
bad either.
Rodgers looked good. The tight end, when you have a bonus tackle as an extra tight end, I don't know what he's pushing weight wise right now, but Donald Washington is a man child.
DJ? Did I see you tweet that he could be the next left tackle? Like he should be starting left tackle?
Dude, I will. You can mark this clip.
I'm in the same camp.
If in 3 years, he's not only has made the conversion to tackle, but is a starting tackle, and I will say he's got a really good chance to be a Pro Bowl tackle.
Agreed.
There's just not many guys that are that big that can move like that. And if I was his agent, I would be like, here's what the 15th best tight end in the NFL makes. Here's what it is. Now here's what a top 10 offensive tackle makes in this league. Like, make the switch, dude. Your finances will thank you.
I agree.
DJ, what'd you think of Joe Burrow getting ragdolled a few times last night? Would you be a fan of that if you were coaching that team or you the GM of the Bengals?
I'm always on preseason. Like, everybody, if you want to get some guys out there and get them going, I'm good with that. The quarterback's just different to me. Like, I get you want to get out there and get a couple series, hand the ball off. We want to throw a couple smoke screens out there just to, get a little bit of a feel. But watching Joe Burrow drop back this many times in the preseason, I understand it. They haven't got off to good starts, and they're trying to rectify that. But I don't know that's the right answer.
Yeah, is Al Golden going to be able to get that defense going? I know they've given up some explosive plays early in the preseason. They said they've looked much better in practice. We know that does matter. But what's Al Golden going to be able to do with this defense? Because we know Joe is most likely he's going to be Joe again. Their offense is going to put up points, but can the defense stop anybody?
I think they'll get better. I think they have a lot of key young players that you'll see them improve. And he's a not just a scheme guy, he's a good developer of players, and I think that college background helps with that. So, and maybe that's why they're playing these offensive guys and playing Burrow so much in the preseason, because, like, dude, until we get the defense up to speed, we got to come out the gates humming. So, I mean, I think they'll get better. I don't think they're going to be great to start the season. I think they're still going to be heavily, relying on Burrow in this offense. But I don't know if you're a Bengals fan, if you can complain. Is there a more fun offense to watch on a weekly basis than what they've got right now?
It is pretty awesome. You are right there. But flip side, though, Washington, what about them? You think they take a step back, or are they able to continue what they have been doing? And Jaden's obviously unbelievable rookie season.
Yeah, I mean, Jaden's, again, talking to folks there, everything's just somehow faster, which is hard to believe, as fast as he played last year and how he processed so well. That's gotten better. The offensive line's better. I think the biggest improvement is in the secondary. They've got some young, talented, good pieces in that secondary. I think they're going to be better there. Their challenge is just going to be, can their front stand up to Philly? That's what they got, who they got to get through to get where they want to go. So that's a little bit TBD for me.
Yep, that is TBD. But Daniel, we appreciate you. We look forward to you and Matt Money Smith on the call for what the Chargers all season.
Dude, we'll be in Brazil, man. We're going to Brazil here for the
what? Are you getting are they going to get you a lay down seat? I hope for that long flight.
I'll be honest with you. I like Justin Herbert's chances for the lay down seat a lot more than the radio analyst's chances at that seat. We're just hoping for an open seat. We're hoping for an open seat. I think it's 12.
Oh,
man.
12. You guys could, if you get an open seat and you have three, you and Matt Money Smith could lay head to foot. You know what I mean?
Ooh, well, first of all, I don't understand Money. As soon as we get on the plane, he's dead asleep.
Ooh,
and I'm like, is it the noise cancelers? Is it the noise cancelers? And I'm like, I think there's something. I think there's a little more than the noise cancelers.
Yeah,
are helping him sleep.
PEDs.
Yeah.
He's using some PEDs on there, huh?
Test him, yeah.
They'll have to test him when he gets to Brazil.
That's not water in that cup. I mean, I'm pretty sure.
Nice. All right. Hey, DJ, appreciate you, man. We look forward to everything you do this season. We will definitely have you back on. But, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Daniel Jeremiah.
Thanks, DJ.
What do you think? Anything he said surprise you, shock you by any of that? I guess he's kind of, going with everything that's going on. Nothing is crazy jumping off the screen at him like sleepers or sleeper teams or players. But you're right. When I asked that Seattle question, I do think
everyone's very high.
We have that weird bias, because they're so far out there.
We don't see,
even with the internet. Why does it seem like we don't see anything?
We don't. Maybe because we are out here, you don't see any clips from them either. Nothing from the Seahawks ever really makes it into my algorithm.
Do they like it? They might like it that way.
I mean,
I don't think so. They complain about it quite a bit.
Yeah, they want people to talk about them for sure. But yeah, I don't get it when it comes to the Seattle.
It's almost
stuff.
like when Christian McCaffrey was at Stanford. The guy's unbelievable, running for 300 yards a game, but a lot of times he's playing at 10 p.m. Eastern, and people don't see it.
Yeah,
it's different though.
I don't get it just because the Cardinals.
He was great. Saying everyone else should have known that, Ty. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
They won the Rose Bowl. I think a lot of people saw that.
I hope so, but they don't think he got the pub he deserved. What were you saying, Conrad?
Oh, no, I was saying, yesterday we heard, hey, Seattle's going to be good, and Arizona's going to be good, and guess what? The Niners are going to be good again, and guess what? The Rams are going to be one of the best
Watch out.
teams in the NFC. Hey, that's not how it works. So one of those teams is going to be bad, and I personally feel like I would I look to Seattle, but to be that team.
That's not going to be good?
That versus the other ones, yeah, definitely. Because there's at least they have like continuity in the other three places. Like, hey, Darnold and Cooper Kupp have never played a game together. So I don't know how long.
We forget Cooper Kupp is out there.
Yeah, we forget Cooper Kupp.
Completely
Bingo. But again, they lost Lockett. They lost DK. Like, they lost a bunch of guys.
They got Bobo still.
But you're telling me that they're then, they got Bobo and JSN, but you're telling me that Darnold, who has only really been good with KOC, and it was last year, but that Darnold, and I think he did, and he's definitely much better than he was, but like, we don't know if Darnold's going to have the same year he did last year. It was the best year of his career, and he was in Minnesota. Like, it is such a new building in Seattle for all those guys. That's why I don't understand the thought that, like, hey, Seattle's definitely going to be good. It's these other teams that we're not sure about. I don't see that. But then again, Kenneth Walker, I feel like we all think is amazing, and Charbonnet is better than him now all of a sudden. So maybe they do have a bunch of unbelievable players as well that, I'm a stupid idiot about.
What about the Raiders? We see Tom Brady out there wearing sweet white pants. Is that what he's wearing now?
With a white jacket?
Just peacocking all over. No, black pants, this sweet white jacket. He does wear the white pants as well.
Wow,
just
David
peacocking
shit.
all over. That jacket is awesome. I do love
clean.
that. But what are the Raiders this year? Like, we know Ashton Jeter. We know that dude's going to run people over. We know he's going to be a stud. They will lean heavily on him, I would imagine. Oh, that wasn't it.
That was.
They should be better. You would think they're.
What is that? How many wins is that, though?
Their quarterback situation is vastly improved.
I love how he falls
at least
forward.
9.
I love how he falls forward.
I'm putting a 9.
Are they better than the Broncos, Chiefs, or Chargers?
Oh,
That's a problem.
It's gonna be tough to get to 9 if.
I got faith in. I like Geno. You got to clean up. You got to clean up the red zone picks. I love Genty. You got to see it. Obviously on this level, but Brock Bowers.
Brock's the best.
Is arguably could be. Some people say the best tight end in the league already going into year 2. So that was a great safety blanket to have. You got some decent weapons outside. The question is obviously going to be the offensive line. Can they protect Geno and kind of prevent him from making some of those big time mistakes? But I do like the Raiders' defense. Big question marks as well. So yeah, maybe 9 is a little high with that division, but I definitely think they are better. Pete Carroll, he wins everywhere he goes.
The culture should be better.
The culture will be much different with obviously him there, and then Tom being more hands-on, being in practice, being around the building. As the season goes on, with him traveling and doing his thing in the booth, it won't be as much. But I'm a little higher on the Raiders than I have been in a while.
Was Aiden O'Connell their day 1 starter last year? Am I wrong on that?
Was Gardner there?
I think it was Gardner. And
they're in a much better spot at that position, and normally when you're in a much better spot at that position, you will improve.
And they have that other rookie receiver that everyone's loving.
6.5.
Dante Thornton.
Yeah.
Yes, out of Tennessee.
Man, team win. They got the Browns at the lowest, 4.5 for the team win totals. Over under.
That seems fair.
Does that seem low or high to you?
A little
You can't
high.
say high. You think 4.5 wins is high?
I would say high just because look at what
Didn't Joe Flacco just get named starter?
He did.
Yeah.
They got some talent on that defense for
Miles
sure.
Garrett.
They got some studs on the offense as well.
I think they're better than the Saints. But the division, the AFC as a whole, I believe, is harder, and the AFC North is much harder than the NFC South, you would think.
There were like 6 teams who didn't win 4 games.
Are people sleeping on the Saints?
4.5 games.
I don't think so.
They're a team that people definitely do not have a lot of positive high hopes for, at least right now, this moment.
Quarterback position.
Quarterback, you got to figure that out.
Yeah.
And Shuck's going to be the guy. Isn't that what DJ said?
I like his thought process on figuring out if he's going to be your guy or not, because it is supposed to be a better quarterback draft.
Kellen Moore, what a test coming in year 1, first time head coach.
And I think you probably
figure
know
that quarterback out.
Who Rattler is.
No.
I don't know.
I think it's
Rattler's a dynamic athlete. Honestly,
I know
he has
that.
a gun.
Listen, he carried South Carolina his senior year, and he came in. He played decent last year, but yeah, you know what I'm saying.
With that number 2 on it, different. I don't know.
Yeah,
like that,
he
right?
does have some Aaron Brooks in him.
Aaron Brooks was doing it for New Orleans for a while. That's right. I mean, when you don't have your quarterback, have they talked about it? Is Kellen Moore going to name a starter before the first game? Like, what are we doing?
No, they're just gonna roll someone out with a clown nose on.
Why not?
Just
I think they're doing
Why give the other team any information?
I think they're doing like a magic curtain. Well, let's ask you. We didn't know if Ohio State was going to name a starter before.
They did, right?
They did. So why did they?
It's a good question. I mean, because the coach isn't like, it doesn't matter who's the quarterback. It's not like we're choosing between Drew Bledsoe and Michael Vick. Like, that's a drastic change in how they play the game of football.
You're right.
Now, these guys, I mean, Julian Sain, Keenholz, they are actually both very athletic.
Yes.
They can really run with the ball, and they want their different size guys. Obviously, Sain's a little shorter, very shifty, and has a super quick release, which people love talking about. I like it. I like the name.
I saw someone quote tweet this of the Ohio State Buckeyes announcement. Did you see it too? And said, "Don't even touch the gas of this Ferrari, man. You just put your hands on the wheel and you keep that wheel straight." Because basically the rest of the Ohio State offense is unbelievable. And it's just like, hey, man, you get number 4 the ball, and then just get out.
Did you show up to his signing? Did you take your kids out there to Dick's Sporting Goods?
I saw the video of Jeremiah Smith. Whoever put the video out said, "I've never seen like any hoopla for a college athlete like they have for Jeremiah Smith."
It was crazy.
Just a billion.
I assume
people.
that's your Dick's Sporting Goods.
It's not too far. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We go to that one a lot. Yeah. He didn't stay and sign for all. He'd still be there. He's still signing for all those people. We're taking pictures.
He's absurd.
College kids. That kid's got to go to class still for 2 more years.
It's insane.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how you can.
I mean, we got video right here. Thanks for pulling this up, fellas. I mean, look at this.
Yeah. This is wild.
This is next level.
Yeah.
Is he the biggest thing in Columbus since?
What?
I don't know. You tell me.
Eddie George? I don't know. Like, it's a different time because
you gotta go that far back?
No, there's still monsters like every
Zeke?
time. There's always
Zeke
was very, very. But I'm thinking, Maurice. I came in the same recruiting class as Maurice Clarett. I mean, his first game he ever played in the shoe, they're chanting his name, Maurice. Like, it was a special situation just to be there to watch that, seeing him do that. But Jeremiah Smith, he's kind of changed everything. Like, I don't know. He's in this era too with social media, with all this stuff. Even though he's not out there.
He also
all over the place.
he dominated the entire playoffs. Like, if you're he was a guy you could count on every single game.
Like, was it Texas game? He didn't have a ton. He's like still bothered by that.
Yeah,
But still really pissed off about
it. And they kind of just used him as a decoy the entire game. But like every other game we went to, is like before the game we were talking, and it was like guaranteed. It's like he's gonna have at least 100 yards and 1 or 2 touchdowns.
That Oregon game.
Yeah. Right away.
And he did. I mean, he's unreal.
He's unreal. He had 103, 187, 3 against Texas, which definitely bothered him.
Yep.
And then the 5 for 88 and a touchdown.
But they're replacing coordinators as well, offensive and defensive coordinator. Ohio State has to. Yeah. So that is definitely a thing. And Chip Kelly, he's gone. He's with the Raiders.
Yep.
Knowles went over to Penn State.
Yeah, joined the enemy.
Matty P. Patricia came in. People are loving him. Early reports, they love that guy.
Really?
Matty
Doing
P?
well, yeah. Oh, yeah. Matty P's been great. There's a couple of mic'd ups they have of him in Ohio State practice.
As a DC. Always great as a DC.
He seems to be having fun.
Kind of.
Yeah, he seems to be having fun, though. He was an offensive coordinator for the New England Patriots.
Yeah, you remember? Yeah, I mean,
has he talked much about that? Honestly, I would love to know what that year was like.
I don't think he really has. I'm assuming it was just kind of like a, hey, Bill told me what to do, so I did situation. But with Matt Patricia, I forgot what I was going to say.
Either way, it's got to make you a better coach, though. If you're a defensive coach and you coach offense for a year, you realize, like, okay, what do I hate to see? Like, I would question guys on the offense, like the center, the guards, whoever. Hey, what do you guys hate that certain linebackers or D-line does? What do you not like? And they all double A gap pressure. And they all hate that, especially if you mess with them the whole game.
All day.
I mean, you would do if you want to mess with their calls. And
that's me on Madden. I'm mugging up the A gaps. You got to figure out protection first.
It's true.
Before you can do anything else with me, you got to figure out your front.
Shouldn't you do that when you, like, if you're going against a rookie quarterback, a real experienced guy? Say, hey, our base defense starts with double A gap. We're lined up, mugged in the A gap. We might. You never know.
Before you even look at the safety, you got problems right in your face. You got to figure that out. It's kind of my.
That's where Dick LeBeau lived.
Boom. Okay. There we go.
Yeah. Jeez.
Thrive.
What a time. Football's right around the corner, isn't it?
We're here.
How many
very
days?
Close.
Oh, man,
16 days. Yeah, we're very close.
3 days
16
for college.
days.
Yeah, college football this week.
Saturday.
Man, what a great time of year it is right now.
So excited.
I'm excited.
We got it all day long, starting with Iowa State and Kansas State in Ireland. We were there last year. Basically in 2 days. We were there for 36 hours, had the time of our lives.
Wow.
That was for Florida State and Georgia Tech, which kicked off the wildest season of all time for Florida State potentially. But yeah, not a bad little slate on Saturday. You're starting with that one in Ireland and finishing in Hawaii with Stanford at Hawaii. Who's favored over an ACC Power 4 school?
Yeah, just the thought that we are going to be able to turn the TV on and from noon to
football.
Yeah, midnight. There's football. Like it truly, it does really pull at your heartstrings.
It does pull.
You
makes you emotional.
It makes you emotional. You think about how long it's been and how many other sports we've had to watch just to get back to football.
How many stupid parlays I put together?
Oh my God!
And then Texas is in the shoe. A week after that, you gonna be there?
Yeah, well, I should be, man. I can't wait.
Are you
that whole first week? There's a lot of games going
carrying
that
out
weekend.
the flag?
Nah, I'm not going to do that.
Come
Leave that to
on.
professionals, to the band and everyone else. No.
Yeah, but like LSU, Clemson, can't wait.
Crazy.
There's so many.
I mean, even Nebraska, Cincinnati is going to be
That's Thursday night.
The Notre Dame.
I want to see what Colorado is like post Shadur.
North Carolina finally
Bill
seeing
Bill's
Coach
debut.
Coach
Oh, it's a
Belichick's
Monday
squad.
night game too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're opening up with TCU. I almost forgot about that one. What does the Bill Belichick led North Carolina football team look like? I did see he had him mic'd up as well.
I watched it too.
You see that?
Yeah.
Hey, I like it. Bill's coaching the boys up.
I mean, it was still
Same
throwback, same Bill. It seemed like the same Bill, and just looking at you didn't see the players for too long in the frame, but looks like he got some big boys out there.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like he put together a squad. How many? 70 new players?
Yeah,
So,
I know they are GM'd so well. Okay, let's just get that out there.
Of course.
Michael Lombardi?
Yes, Michael Lombardi, probably the best GM in college football, and they're going to be coached well. But 70 new players is a lot. That's a lot of new players.
I mean, it reeks of Indiana. That's what Indiana. We've seen this work before.
Sig and Bill are similar.
Yeah, if it worked with Sig, they are old school guys. You would think like, hey, maybe if Bill does bring in the right guys. Now, I'm not saying Kid Canada is going to be under center for the North Carolina Tar Heels. Okay. But
who is going to be on the center?
The kid from South Alabama, the mobile quarterback.
Gio Lopez.
Yeah, that they love. So who knows? There is, and this is kind of why NIL is cool, because you can bring in Bill Belichick, and Bill Belichick might be in the college football playoff this year, which is what I'm hoping, but also expecting it to take a couple years here. Okay, just like West Virginia, it might take a little bit. And we have to be mentally prepared for those things, Joe.
Maybe, or they're both in the college
they're both
football
great.
But one thing, it just came out, I think like 10 minutes ago, that Miami and Notre Dame game, which is a top 10, two top 10 teams. Notre Dame just announced their starting quarterback, who's going to be CJ Carr, who we thought was going to be all summer long, but then his name's Minchie, pushed him later on. Who was on? Thamel talked about the difference in offensive style. CJ Carr being more of a pocket passer, so that's who they're going to go with down in Miami.
Yeah, I can't wait. But Debo, that got me thinking. Bill Belichick. How do you? Okay, did Bill ever give like pregame talk in the locker room? Did he ever get juiced up? We're like, oh, okay, I never really saw that out of Bill. Like pretty emotional, or he got us for maybe a big game, or maybe he was pissed off before a game. How did those go? Like right before you went out?
He never got too animated. It was just about the details, and we would have something we never did. I never did any other team. Even on Sundays before games, we would kind of come together as a team and have a quick team meeting. To just kind of
Sunday morning,
go over final checkpoints, maybe change something up.
So for an away game, I'm just thinking logistically. Like, say you play a 1 o'clock away game, would you do that Sunday morning?
No,
because the whole team is really never together. Like on away games, there's a first bus, second bus, all that.
No, I don't remember on away games, but we would get kind of like the final run through, kind of what was going to happen that day, either for us or for the other team. Hey, expect some tempo early, expect this or do that. So it was always preparation with Bill, and more than anything, more important was the gotta have it moments. So the 2 minute plays, what are their favorite 2 minute plays? The 2 point plays, the fourth down plays, which those are much more prevalent now. But back when we were playing, guys didn't go for it on fourth down that much. People didn't go, have all these extra 2 point conversions. But I felt like we were more prepared than everyone else. So the preparation, watching that mic'd up, hearing them just go over, because football, the more it changes, the more it kind of stays the same. The fundamental, if you can block, you can tackle, you have leverage, you know where your help is, you communicate, like those different things, and and just have fun. He would always emphasize, having fun with your teammates.
Really? He would tell you to have fun?
The big thing with Bill was, celebrate with your teammates. Like if a big play would happen, like we want to see that juice, we want to see that emotion, not only for the impact it has on your teammates, but the impact it has on your opponents. And I can remember being an opponent and, being in Foxborough, and they go up, 4 touchdowns, and Tom Brady spiking the ball and running up and jumping on Gronk like they just went up in a close game. So all those little things, I'm sure he'll still emphasize and drive home. But I am still interested to see, because those are grown men, and now you're dealing with grown men, but much younger men. So it'd be very interesting, especially with 70 new guys coming to the team because now it's new for everyone. But if you want a guy setting your culture, Bill Belichick is probably one of those guys right at the top of your board.
To your point about like the young men, I feel like that's what's kind of changed now is that it's easier to deal with them. You know, we've talked to these kids and how, like, grown up, it feels like they already that they're already
they're pros at like 16
polished.
years old.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Like they're already they kind of understand the game at least when it now. Not all cases, of course, there are kind of the outliers. I mean, and not as if it's his fault or whose fault is it is kind of still up in the air. But like Nico Iamaleava, where it's like, hey, turns into kind of a problem, but still very polished. You still don't really hear anything, at least from his mouth, of Nico burying anybody. So you would think too that if Bill has success or even has a lot of enjoyment or things of that nature, that more guys will look to jump back down. Because like let's say him, and then let's say maybe like Gruden after this season, because Gruden said that he wants to coach in college. Like all of a sudden it might start being just a draw to go back down to the college, and then vice versa, where it's like, hey, Jeff Hafleys of the world who are at these like now feeder schools to the massive D1 schools, like, all right, this sucks. I'm just going to go be a coordinator. And it just, kind of swaps, but it'll probably help everything because then the guys in college understand the NFL business more. And then the NFL guys also who, want to be head ball coaches can go back down to college and kind of get them, even more ready for the pros.
Yeah, I wonder for Bill Belichick, but I'd be interested, like, what you think. Can college guys, how much is too information? Like, we all know, they say, like, if guy lines up pre-snap and you hear a coach in the sideline yell, like, alert 5 different things. Alert screen, alert draw, alert to post, alert 973, alert like 15 different, like, all right, well, alert everything, pal. Like, I wonder how much Bill, like, he's probably learning too how much I can give these dudes. Because it's true, like, leading up to a game, you can't give them a packet 30 pages long and say, here's their favorite things to do, guys. Like, no, like, you need to be bold.
These guys got class.
Yeah, they got class, they got things to do. Like, they see that, they might just tune out right away. But how do you know exactly how much they can handle? That's something I think the coaching staff has to learn throughout the season too.
Yeah.
What these guys can do. Hey, don't put too much on them, or hey, maybe they can handle a little more than we think.
Yeah, I mean, once again, I'm gonna trust Bill to figure that out and know, when he has to simplify things and when he has to, when he can complicate it. But the thing about it, going into a game, playing for Bill, you never, ever, ever felt unprepared. You never felt like the other team caught you off guard. Like, you were always prepared.
You knew, like, hey, if they come out and empty, we got
empty answers. We got hurry up answers. Like, we have the answers. It's just going to come down to execution. So it was never a super complicated thing. The only thing that was complicated there more than anywhere else is every week, and I don't know how he can do this on the college level, but every week it's kind of going to be a new game plan. Like, when you play most places, you kind of knew who you are. Week 8, week 9, okay, we're a quarters team. We're going to come out, we're going to mix in some pressure. We'll have some funky third down stuff. But like Bill, some week it may be a 3-4 front. Maybe this week, 2 weeks down the line, we may switch it up and run some more 4-3 or have stuff.
That's wild because people
or
don't
just have
realize.
one guy. We just may have Kyle Arrington just come and just blitz off the edge 9 times this game because of what they like to do with sprint right option on certain plays. So it was so game plan specific. And that's the only thing, that's the biggest adjustment, I think, going from the pros to the colleges. Once again, how much can they handle? Because they do have other things. Like, when you're a professional, this is your livelihood. This is what you're doing. And
that's still really difficult. There's a reason other teams don't do that. Your kind of base stuff is what your base stuff is.
And I assume most coaches aren't comfortable with that. Like, most coaches are like, I know how to call a 3-4.
Reteaching a new thing.
I don't know how to
week.
call a 4-3. Like, and so the coach has to be insanely.
But when you on a Belichick staff, like,
agreed. That's what I mean.
You can. He always had very, like, even Matty P, like, what was like MIT guy or something?
Oh yeah, it's like a rocket.
Josh Boyer,
right?
who I think is in Columbus now too. He was like he came from like King's College or something. He was a DB coach, so it's always a mixed bag with Bill. You never knew what was coming as a coach.
Yeah, we're up against a quick hard out here, but guess what? On the other side, we have Adam Schefter, I believe, coming on early in this 1 o'clock hour, followed by Marty Smith, everybody. So you're going to want to stick around. Woo! We'll see you in a few minutes, guys. Bye.
Hi, how's it going? My name is Pat McAfee. Used to hold balls for Adam Vinatieri. Now I'm in his home state. College game day is absolutely electric. In Brookings.
College Game Day has made the voyage to Brookings, South Dakota to experience a game with the best fans in college football. I unfortunately cannot attend because I have a game this Sunday, so I sent a man I trust to make my picks. A man who is my holder for almost a decade. Please be nice to him. Welcome this week's celebrity guest picker, Pat McAfee.
Go big, go blue, go Jacks.
Hosting Auburn. Yes, everybody saw this. The best fake punt in the world. What do you think, Pat?
I absolutely loved it all the way up until execution time. That is not one we like to show in the brand headquarters and punting and kicking world.
Oh, dance off. Oh, let's get weird. Yes. Duck that, huh?
Bang! Right off the top of the dome. That makes it a lot easier when you got a dummy standing right in front of you like that.
Running. He's
High
Daniel Russo.
Wax on, wax off, knee to the face.
Yes. Serious.
Go. Yes.
These teams stink. With that 15, they celebrate by doing shotguns. And I'm a big fan of that. I'm going with the University of Virginia Cavaliers. That was great. Whoa! I will never, ever in the history of my life cut against that ball. Oklahoma State is the win here. Not so fast again.
But I'm going Trey.
Please excuse my dumb friend Kirk. Look at this crowd. They've been out here since 4 a.m. College Game Day comes to town. They lose their mind. The population of this state is about 800,000. And when the Jackrabbits take the field, they're alongside all 800,000 South Dakotans. The Dakota marker was in Fargo for far too long. Today, 5 o'clock local time, the Dakota marker is back in beautiful Brookings, South Dakota. Terry School. They might be the Jackrabbits, but they're the GOATs today. Ladies and gentlemen, South Dakota State with the win.
Give me that place in.
No, don't do that. No. Leave. Coach.
He has the
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
Why?
let's go.
This show stinks. And the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink.
Damn it!
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Welcome back, hour 2 of the Pat McAfee Show. I'm AJ Hawk, sitting in for Pat. He's in a beautiful spot, having fun, working his balls off. Football! It's what we've been talking about. We really have.
That's
Thank
good.
you.
Let's
Thank
go
you to
in,
Daniel
put it.
Jeremiah in the first half. First part of this show, we really appreciate it. We have Adam Schefter is going to join us here in a few moments, followed by Marty Smith here. We're excited for hour 2, but we were just talking off air a little bit. Ty Schmidt, there's been some news. I know you are on the Adam Schefter podcast. You are a co-host.
Correct.
Co-host
Well,
with Adam
I
Schefter.
host the weekly Six Pack.
There we go, the weekly Six Pack. What were you saying?
The six pack of questions.
Adam Schefter was talking about Micah Parsons and the situation with the Cowboys. What was he saying earlier today?
Yeah, he pretty much said that he thinks Micah and the Cowboys are headed for like an ugly divorce and that he doesn't know if it means that he will be traded before the start of this year or if he'll play for the Cowboys this year and then be traded like after the season. But he made it sound like everything that he's hearing based on like Micah putting out the post post saying he's ready to be traded. He wants to move on from Dallas. He thinks that really pissed off the Cowboys. And then same thing, like the Cowboys kind of publicly burying him and all that kind of stuff. He basically said that they haven't resumed talks or talked about an extension or anything like that in a very long time, and he thinks it's pretty much over with. And now it's just a matter of when that's going to be.
I mean, that's big news. If that we will ask Schefter here when he joins us in a few moments. But have we ever seen Jerry move on from someone like of Micah's caliber that he drafted? Like, hey, we draft this guy. He's developed here, and he is a cornerstone of this franchise. Obviously, premier pass rusher in all of the NFL.
Quincy Carter.
Has he gotten rid of any of these? Let any of these guys walk? I just can't imagine a place where Jerry Jones let somebody like Micah walk, no matter how bad it gets.
It's not on like a Micah level, but that Randy Gregory thing just happened, where they were going to sign him, and then there was some money situation, and then he basically just said, screw the Cowboys and went to Denver, and then Denver went how it went, and he got released from there. But I don't think so to the Micah Parsons level, like not even close. Usually this is like I honestly threw this when it started into the category of like TJ Watt. Like, this is gonna get done. Jerry's just gonna drag this out, and then they're gonna give Micah a ton of money.
I think most of us were insanely shocked if we didn't already know when we learned that he was playing on his fifth year rookie option without a new contract, because that never, like, Jamar Chase got one after his third, right? Like, and then a lot of guys get it after their fourth, but like Micah is in that ilk, if you will, of those players in that draft class and how he's played. I mean, he's been top 5 of defensive MVP basically every single season.
Wherever you can line the dude up wherever you want. He played off the ball linebacker in college, and he's one of the best outside rushers on the planet. But he also you can put him wherever he's so difficult to block.
Yeah, you look at pieces that you put value marks on, like quarterback, you start there, and then pass rusher is usually the next piece, and he's been at an elite level. So you ask a question about, has Jerry ever moved on from a player at this point? I'm going to go out on a limb and say no, just like everybody else, just because, number one, there aren't many people on that list who would be what Micah Parsons has been since stepping into the league. And then, number two, pass rushers, they never, become available. Not guys like this. So this is wild. Even more than I thought. I was more confident in this deal getting done, even more than TJ Watt, because of just TJ Watt being 30, 31 years old. This guy being in his prime, like, you thought this was a no-brainer, so it's crazy.
Micah, since being in the league, he has had 13 and a half, 14, and 12 sacks.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, he's
pretty good production.
It's unbelievable. And now, if that, like, I'm interested to see what Schefter says, but it will be crazy to see the haul for Micah Parsons and the contract. Both parts of the deal, and then this also becomes one of those situations where you got to have to, it's a 3-team agreement, and one of those teams is Micah, right? This is almost. Is it to the point of like Brandon Ayuk, last offseason where teams were reaching out to the Niners and they agreed to terms, but then Ayuk would say no? Like, do they have to do that with Micah here, or how is it?
It's a rookie deal. I doubt on rookie deal.
Before you trade for him, I would assume there's going to be some assurances that he will sign a long-term deal.
Yeah,
for sure.
But let's say the Cowboys, but we're hearing that he could possibly play this year, and then maybe trade him. Like, when does Micah come back? Like, what makes him come back?
Well, I don't know, because I think that was the assumption too. Though, is like, all this stuff. Yeah, you hear all this, but like, if the Cowboys go out and they do end up meeting again, and he becomes the highest paid player or highest defensive player in NFL history, like, that's kind of a good way to bury a lot of ill will. But I from the sounds of it, from what Schefter's saying, like, there have been no attempts even for them to talk. So, like, I think he's kind of done with them. I think they're maybe kind of done with him. But him more so than anyone else. Like, now, if he were to get traded comes in, like, well, would they even trade this guy to a team in the NFC? Because, like, I don't know if you'd be able to stomach playing it be, the Cowboys being in the playoffs, and you got Micah Parsons on the other side, and he ruins, like, so then that comes into, and then, like you said, like, you're gonna have to pay this guy a bunch of money. I don't know. There's so many questions that come with it, and I think everyone just assumed, like, hey, this is all bullshit. At the end of the day, he's going to get a massive deal and he's going to be a Cowboy for the rest of his career. But it sounds like that might not be the case.
Yeah, and that's why it doesn't make sense just because, let alone how good he is, but like what he means to the team. I forget if it was you, D-Bud, or Tony, or who said it yesterday, might have been you, Ty, about like him playing hurt at the end of the season too. It's like, hey, that is a big thing, I'm sure, in the locker room. Like I'm assuming, of course he liked Mike McCarthy, but I'm assuming the next Shoddy and the next defensive staff and everybody, they want him there just because of, what he means to the other guys in the locker room. Like, Trevon Diggs isn't as good as Trevon Diggs is without Micah Parsons. I mean, you and Harry Douglas talked about that yesterday. It's one of those things where if you let this guy leave, you will probably regret it for 5 years because of how good he'll be somewhere else and of how it'll affect, the other players on your team. Like, I'd be interested to go back and look at, like, Deron Bland's pick sixes during the season. He broke the record, and how many Micah Parsons is.
He affected it.
Yeah, about to get a sack. Like, it's crazy, I'm sure.
Well, we're going to get to the bottom of it right here. Let's go to the source right now. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Adam Schefter. What's up, Schefter?
What's going on, guys? That was all Ty. Ty said everything about Micah Parsons. That was not me.
That was not okay. So what are you hearing then? Other than what Ty said, what are you hearing about this Micah Parsons situation, Schefty?
Well, look, I also want to by saying these things always can change, and situations often change at the end of August and September. It changed for CeeDee Lamb last year. It changed for Dak Prescott last year. This one doesn't feel that way. It doesn't feel that way today. That doesn't mean it can't change, but the way that it's tracking, it feels more likely that these sides are headed for a divorce today than they would be for a new deal. Now, I don't know that it'll play out that way, but that is what I see when I look into my crystal ball. Now, I don't know whether that means there will be a trade now or after the season. I think the most likely scenario would be that he's there this year, his contract expires, they franchise tag him, and then after they franchise tag him, then they have the ability to go and try and trade him. But there's a lot that has to play out here. It's unsettled. And all we know is that there are, I think, hurt feelings on both sides. There have been zero contract negotiations, discussions since late March, early April. Wow. They haven't come close to a new deal. The players demanded a trade. Like I say, it just feels different than Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, and we'll see if they change that here in the last 2 weeks, but that's not how it feels today.
Schefter, the Cowboys knew this was coming, though, right? They knew they've seen what Micah Parsons has done for this team. They knew they were going to have to pay him. Why is there going back to March? You're saying how is there not much communication with this?
I mean, I think if we just track and follow everything that's been said and done publicly, you can piece together the pieces of the puzzle and come up with the situation. Jerry and Micah were meeting. Jerry thought he had the framework of a deal done with Micah. Micah did not feel that way. Micah never saw a contract, never saw a piece of paper. Nothing was put down on paper. Jerry Jones himself has said this summer, when I bought the Dallas Cowboys for whatever he paid, $135, $150 million, he did it, as he said, on a handshake agreement. I think Jerry felt like there was a handshake agreement with Micah when his agent, David Mulgeta, was not involved. Micah came out after the owners' meetings and said, any deal that gets done will include my agent, David Mulgeta. They have not had any talk since then. None. I think the Cowboys were upset that Micah didn't move forward with them. I think Micah wasn't happy that they didn't feel comfortable or try to get the deal done with his agent. In the interim, we've seen Max Crosby get paid. We've seen Myles Garrett get paid. We've seen Danielle Hunter get paid. We've seen TJ Watt get paid. We've seen all these pass rushers get paid at a time where they're not even talking to Micah about a new contract. And then Micah issued a lengthy statement a couple of Fridays ago requesting a trade from the Dallas Cowboys, in which he laid out the whole situation that we're talking about here. It's all there. It's all there. Right. Just read it. Yep. Okay, so all we're doing is talking about everything that's transpired, interpreting it, and putting it into its proper context today. In negotiations, things change. All of a sudden, talks restart. AJ, you've been around the league a long time. There have been any number of strained negotiations that all of a sudden got done at the end of August, right before the start of the season. Mm-hmm. My point is, and I could be wrong, I don't see this one going that way. I see this one going in a different direction. I see this one today headed to a divorce, whether that's after the season, whether they franchise him once, twice, whatever it may be. That's where it feels like it's going, and it's up to both sides to change that narrative and get some talks done and go from there. And we'll see if they can do that.
That's great.
Yeah, we know money can change a lot if Jerry comes to the table and offers what they're looking for. But I wanted to pivot quickly. Daniel Jones, just named starter of the Indianapolis Colts. Was this something you expected, the timing? Did you expect Daniel Jones to be named the starter? And, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I think from the moment Daniel Jones signed with Indianapolis, I thought he had a clear-cut advantage. Again, let's follow the money. The Indianapolis Colts went out of their way to go sign Daniel Jones. They paid him, I believe, $14 million this season, which is less than a starter, but that is way more than a backup. And it's more than the Pittsburgh Steelers are paying Aaron Rodgers, which gives you an idea of how much Indianapolis wanted Daniel Jones.
Oh, sure.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, Schefter, we might have to get you back.
Call you back, Schefter.
Zito's going to get you back. We're going to have to call you back there, Schefter. I don't know. I mean, what is it with the Micah situation, though? How does Micah – so all of a sudden he's just going to dress and go practice?
That's what does make sense.
Game week one? Like, what is that? Just because he don't want to get fined?
He's playing on a one-year deal, too. He's playing on the fifth-year option. Like, it's just crazy. Like, how do we
get it done? It has to get done, right?
I mean, you would think, but for Schefter to be saying his head towards a divorce.
Yeah.
For Schefter to be that strong.
Yeah, that's pretty
something's
huge.
And that's what makes no sense is if that's the plan after the season, like, do you think you're going to win the Super Bowl this year if he plays? Like, why don't you just trade him? Why don't you just trade him right now? And while his value is the highest, because what if he plays this year and gets hurt in week 14? Then it's like your return might not be the same as what you would get right now. Like, so yeah, that. Because otherwise, I mean, we know how this goes, especially with the Cowboys. Like, you're telling me this is just going to hang over the team the entire season and it's not going to be a big deal and we're never going to talk about it again until he gets traded. Like, no. Like, this will hang over the team the entire year. It'll be a huge issue. And we've seen that story play out 100 times before in Dallas.
Yeah, we have Schefter. I believe we got you back. I'm sure we got a little better connection there. As far as Micah goes, like, does all of a sudden if let's say they don't work out anything, he doesn't get traded, come week one, he just dresses and he plays, or what?
Well, that's the other part of this, right? I mean, we have Jerry Jones himself saying that he doesn't know that Micah is going to be playing in week one. Micah still hasn't practiced. He's got back tightness all summer long. Okay? So there are all these things that are just out there. And until the two sides squash it in one way, which they may or may not, that's why I believe it's headed the wrong way. That's my interpretation of it. That's based on conversations I've had. So we'll see. If all of a sudden they can get together and make his back right and get a deal done and he's playing and live happily ever after, then that's great for them. But it doesn't feel like that's going to be the case.
All right, let's say, Schefter, this divorce does happen like you're alluding to. Who are some of the real players out there that are in position to make a real move for Micah, a real aggressive move? I would assume it'd take multiple firsts at this point probably, but what team do you have in mind? Based on the teams you may be spoken about, and what do they think about what's going on in Dallas, but what teams do you have in mind that are real players in this situation for Micah?
Well, Darius, I would say every team in the league would have interest, but I want to be very clear. I don't know that it's going to happen now. I don't think it's going to happen now. Okay? I think there's still a lot of X left in this play that have to play out before we get to the spot where Dallas is trading Micah Parsons. Again, could it happen? It could. I don't think that's the likely scenario, just like I don't think the two sides coming together for a contract extension is also a likely scenario. I think, to me today, it feels like they're going to kind of put up with each other this year, and then the Cowboys would have the franchise tag, and then they would put the franchise tag on him, and then all of a sudden next offseason would be the season of the Micah trade. I think that one, of all the scenarios, feels to be the most logical today. Now, we'll see if something changes. It certainly can. That's part of the deal when we're on August 19th. There's still 2 weeks, but the Cowboys open their season 2 weeks from Thursday night. Micah still hasn't practiced yet. So I would say to AJ, as a linebacker, Darius, you tell me, how would you feel about not practicing all summer? And how effective and how much do you think you could play in an opening game where you haven't really practiced all summer?
I mean, I'd want to get a couple reps in. I'm not going to lie. I want to get my body conditioned a little bit. But Micah, we know, is an absolute physical freak. He can run all day long. He can bend and turn the corner like nobody else on the planet. And he's super powerful. So especially as an outside rusher, you could throw that dude in. I mean, even if he plays half the snaps, he still might get 4 sacks and cause 2 fumbles. So he could do it.
We saw it with Nick Bosa, right?
Nick Bosa.
And then he kind of started.
And then Jamar Chase did it last year, too.
Yeah.
And he had a triple crown. It can be done. It's just not ideal. But again, let's see what they can get done in the next 2 weeks, if anything. I don't think they're going to get a contract done. I could be wrong. That's my guess.
Has Jerry ever drafted a guy that at Micah's caliber, we know the guy's on a different stratosphere than most people, like he's an absolute superstar, and let that guy walk and not re-sign him? Have we ever seen Jerry do this before?
Well, they're not going to let him walk. They're going to trade him.
I'm saying not give him a second deal. That second deal.
The only other one that I could think of that they traded away, the one player that they traded away, there was a cornerback, Thomas Everett, a defensive back that they traded to the Buccaneers right after his Pro Bowl season. They traded Herschel Walker at midseason at the beginning of Jerry's ownership for obviously a haul of picks that remade the franchise. And if they ever got into a situation where they were, in fact, trading Micah, which, again, I just think becomes more and more likely if this offseason continues the way it's gone, then it would be another haul of picks that I would think would be comparable to what the Raiders once got back from the Chicago Bears for Khalil Mack.
Okay. Go ahead, comment.
Yeah, Schefter, you kind of broke up after the Danny Dimes question, but going back to that, what was kind of the route to Danny Dimes? Steichen mentioned, hey, Danny Dimes doesn't have a leash. He's going to be the starter all year. Does that mean AR might be traded? Does that mean, hey, they're still going to give AR a chance next year, whether Danny Dimes, plays well and re-signs or, signs elsewhere? What should we take away from the Steichen press conference and Danny Dimes being the starter?
Yeah, to me, the takeaway was the most significant thing that Shane Steichen said today was this is not really a trial basis. This is not a short-term experiment. Daniel Jones is the guy that they're planning to have start the season. Now, that doesn't mean that Daniel Jones is going to play at that level all year, but he's going to be given every opportunity to have an extended run. And if he plays well and they're winning games, then it's his job for this season. And if he plays well like that, you'd have to figure that they're going to bring him back again while they continue to look at another quarterback. So it's all there for Daniel Jones, whereas it's not there right now for Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson becomes the backup. I don't think they're looking to deal him, but maybe there's a team out there that says, hey, we really value Anthony Richardson and we'll give you an offer that you can't pass up. I don't think somebody would do that right now because Anthony Richardson's stock is low. But you never know how teams view a quarterback. There are certainly some teams out there that could use another quarterback, but my guess would be that Daniel Jones, it's his job. He will be the guy. That's what they want to have happen. Anthony Richardson will be the backup. And by the way, the Colts don't know that Daniel Jones is going to be great all year long. He may not play up to their expectations in his capabilities. But if he does, he's going to be the guy. If not, they have Anthony Richardson on the bench. And then after the season, they have to make a decision on his fifth-year option. And if he's not playing this year, that's a simple decision. I wouldn't expect that they're going to pick up the fifth-year option. He'd be back in the next year. Might be the last year in his contract, or maybe they look to deal him. But there's so much that has to play out. There's so many ways that all these situations can go. We're just trying to give the most accurate assessment of them today on August 19th as they currently stand.
Yeah, Schefter, do you see a situation where Danny Dimes does play very well, but then similar to Darnold, like he leaves Indianapolis and then the Colts just go with AR next season, or do you most likely see Danny Dimes staying in Indy if all goes well?
Well, it seems like we're seeing more and more of these scenarios over time where quarterbacks who were once high picks go on to have some level of success elsewhere. You mentioned Sam Darnold doing that in Minnesota last year and parlaying that into a starting job with the Seattle Seahawks. We saw it with Baker Mayfield, essentially run off in Cleveland and Carolina, turns it into a starting job in Tampa and thrives. I mean, this is Alex Smith, my colleague at ESPN. That happened with him.
Yep.
So there's a history. Now, listen, there are plenty of quarterbacks that wash out that it doesn't happen for. But we've seen enough examples to think, okay, Daniel Jones has a chance to shine this year. And I can tell you this, that what was interesting to me going into free agency, when you spoke to some teams about quarterbacks and having them assess quarterbacks, there were multiple head coaches that I spoke to who really were interested in Daniel Jones and value Daniel Jones. And I was like, I was a little surprised. I was like, wow.
Which one?
Okay. Well, I'm just telling you, there was a higher opinion of Daniel Jones in the coaching community than there was in the public. So there are enough coaches who believe that he's capable of playing well. And he'll have that opportunity. If he plays well, he could turn into Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield. If he doesn't, then that'll be it for him in the NFL.
Schefter, let's go to a guy who we've talked about a ton since the Super Bowl when he came on this show, and that is Trey Hendrickson. Now, we haven't talked to you, though, since it's come out that they are potentially exploring trade options for Trey Hendrickson. Do you know what the latest is there, and is that actually something that you think could happen?
I don't think it's anything different than really what's happened all along.
Okay.
In the sense that he's asked for a trade. Cincinnati always was going to have to be knocked over with an offer that they didn't get in February or March, that they are less likely to get in August or September. The Bengals would have to be willing to almost look the other way and say, we're going to take 50 cents on the dollar to trade him, which they have never been willing to do. Does that mean a trade can happen? No. Do I think a trade is likely to happen? No. They have to figure out a way. Now, what's interesting, and it's going to be going on here with Trey Hendrickson, with Terry McLaurin, even with Cam Hayward in Pittsburgh. Whoa. Sorry, Tone.
Whoa.
These guys are all going to have decisions to make about how they want to handle the season. And every one of them is going to have to decide, okay, are we willing to play? Now, you asked about Trey Hendrickson, and Trey has been very emphatic on the record publicly about the fact that he's not going to play this season on his existing contract that's scheduled to pay him $16 million this year. Now, what does that mean? How is he going to handle it? I don't know. Does that mean he retires at the start of the season? I guess it could be. Does that mean his back is going to tighten up or his hamstring is going to be sore and he can't play? I will say this. I do believe Trey Hendrickson is a man of principle, and he's been very outspoken about the fact that he's not going to play for $16 million this year.
Schefter, your co-host, Ty Schmidt has something for you.
Yeah, Schefter, do you have any update on Jordan Love? He was back on the practice field today after that thumb surgery on his left hand, and I think he threw it pretty well in 7-on-7, but they did say that he's going to have very, very limited reps with their practice with Seattle. Is there any concern about whether or not he's going to be 100% good to go for week one?
No, that's why they did the surgery, because I think that they expected that he would be able to get back, and they're ramping up slowly. This is not anything that's unusual, and there's no reason to subject him to anything that is unusual. So I think it's a case where basically he's on track to be ready to play in the opener against the Detroit Lions, and I think that they feel pretty good about that.
Hey, Schefter, before we let you get out of here, you dropped a bomb on us last year right before the season started with the Christian McCaffrey news. I know a lot of fantasy football drafts are happening right now. Any other breaking news you have for us that may be under the radar as far as fantasy drafts go?
Well, Darius, I'm happy to share all of that as soon as I conduct my 2 drafts.
Oh, you
dog, Jesse.
Sneaky little. Should expect something.
No. Here's what I would say. We got a couple of guys out there with soft tissue injuries like Justin Jefferson and Devon Achane, and these guys are unbelievable players. I learned last year, with Christian McCaffrey, that to me, as great as some of these players are, and they're awesome, I think their fantasy value, you have to factor. If there's a soft tissue injury, I think you got to think twice about taking a guy in the early part of the season because I think we learned that last year. But fantasy like that, like little things, Brian Robinson getting traded, all of a sudden, Bill Krosky-Merritt, his value goes up. This happens all the time. Jalen McMillan, the Buccaneers wide receiver, sounds like he's going to be on IR to start the year, which means that's going to be more opportunities for Mike Evans and Emeka Egbuka right away. So there's always fallout in all of these situations, and there will be again. So that's the situation.
All right, Schefter, appreciate you, man. We know you're running all over the place. Thank you again. I'm sure you'll be back on the show very shortly. But, ladies and gentlemen, Adam Schefter.
Yay!
Yeah. So, what surprised you there? So he's saying the Micah Parsons situation is still
divorce.
I don't get it. How would he play this year?
That's what I'm saying. If it's going to be a divorce, I just see it happening before he takes a snap this year.
Would he?
Something has to shake.
If Schefter's saying he might play on his current deal, I don't see that happening. Would he just have a hold in during the season if they don't trade him?
He loves football. He set out the COVID year before the draft. Jamar,
It wouldn't make sense for him to play at all.
Yeah.
Like what would do it now?
We know he can stand no business.
Mm-hmm.
But will he?
And then you don't get you wouldn't get an accrued season, would you? Or how's that?
I think that is this.
He's due to make 24 this year.
I had Logan Mankins, a teammate, do it like almost.
Did Logan Mankins really do that?
Oh yeah, I want to say like maybe 8.
Bro, Logan Mankins. First of all, that's a name people need to know more of. That dude was awesome. He's the O lineman he's what you want in an O lineman right now.
Yeah, he's like a fan favorite for New England Patriots fans, like growing. Yeah, like
he set out games, all right.
He's a scary human to play against.
I'm pretty sure he did, and that's why he ended up getting traded to Tampa. But when it comes to like Patriots fans who, like when you look back at the dynasty players that you wish won a Super Bowl, Randy Moss and Logan Mankins are at the top.
Logan didn't get one?
They're at the top of everybody's list. Logan Mankins got drafted, I believe, in 2006, and then he got traded in 2013. And
they won the first 8 games, 2010.
Yeah. And they won the Super Bowl in 2014 and 2005. So the year before he got there and the year after he left.
So he lost that second one, 2011.
He lost the undefeated one too, I thought. But I forget what year he was.
He's a monster.
He was so good. Yeah, the guys
they played a whole year with a torn knee. Yeah. I remember that being
ACL.
Yeah, whole year.
Bill had to love him. I mean, he's a guy that every head coach would love.
And he probably loved that he sat out, but he was probably too bad. I appreciate what you're doing here, but we're going to have to move on.
Yes. Man, speaking of one great guy to another, we have another one waiting on the line that we will not make wait any longer. Ladies and gentlemen, he doesn't need any introduction. Please welcome Mr. Marty Smith.
Yay, Marty!
I see you, Marty, with the sweet Joe Burrow.
Gentlemen, I hope you're well. I hope you're festive. You're always festive. I don't even need to ask that question. I hope y'all boys are good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're doing well, Marty. We appreciate you asking about us. So how's your life going right now? What's going on now with football right on the cusp of everything? Any news you have that we don't know about?
Since you're in the big chair, I wanted to make sure that was there.
That looks good. Got a lot of good Buckeye stickers on there. I see you.
Got a lot of Buckeye stickers. I played really well on special teams.
Hey, we need wedge busters.
Yeah, man, I am at a fever pitch for college football to get here. I've been watching every NFL preseason game, which I've never done, I don't think, in my life. But so many of these young men playing the game now at the highest level, I had the blessing of building relationships with while they were playing college football. And so I'm so invested in their success. And so it's fun to see, and I just can't wait to kick it off, man. Let's strap up and get it.
Yeah, I know. When you build a relationship with these guys when they're in college, I wondered, can you tell some of the guys that, I mean, I guess it's hard to tell who's going to make it, but could you tell some college guys that maybe aren't going to make it at the next level? Have you ever been like, man, I don't know about that guy. He may be a great college player, but I don't know if that translates to the NFL.
I think there were probably some guys that proved me wrong. But honestly, when you're at the University of Alabama and Ohio State and Texas and LSU and Clemson all the time, you're looking at the premier talents in the game, and not just premier talents in the game, but they have to have a self-accountability and a coachability and the ability to listen and develop in order to stay there. And so most of those guys are going to have the opportunity based on the context that they're in to be great. And like, I remember when Joe Burrow was at Ohio State, and I remember when he was battling for the starting job against Dwayne Haskins, and I remember thinking that guy's going to win because he's such a dog. And then Dwayne, of course, he won the job, wound up throwing for 50 touchdowns, was a Heisman finalist. Absolutely the right choice by Urban Meyer and his group.
Rest in peace.
And then, am I breaking up a little bit?
No, you're good.
You're good.
Okay, good. So then Joe goes to LSU, and I told everybody, I said, I promise you this guy's going to be different. I promise you this is going to be a guy who comes in. He's going to be a little bristly at first. He's a different kind of cat to get to know. But once they see him between the lines, once they see him in the weight room, once they watch him lead, they're going to see a different kind of dude. And then, in my estimation, maybe produce the greatest season in the history of college football with that 2019 group that just had pros everywhere, with Jamar and with JJ and with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, on and on and on, right? But I just kind of knew it with him. And so that kind of came out of nowhere for some people, but I feel like I kind of had that all the way back at Ohio State.
Nice. Well, I would imagine, Marty, you can evaluate talent. You've been around enough guys. You've gotten to know them. You know what it takes, I guess, on and off the field to get it done, especially at the next level. But staying in the SEC, Todd Schmidt's got a question for you.
Yeah, Marty, last year we really didn't have too many coaching changes in college football as a whole. But when you look at the SEC this year, obviously, John Gruden mentioned when he was at Georgia, like, hey, I'd love to be back on the sidelines, particularly in an SEC program. When you look around the SEC, whether it's Arkansas or Auburn, even, Florida, I know Billy Napier kind of garnered some goodwill back with the way they finished the season. But do you expect us to see multiple new head coaches in the SEC next year based on kind of what you're forecasting for how teams do this year, particularly a guy like John Gruden?
Well, this is the first time in a long time we have 16 head coaches that were there last year, too.
Wow.
In the Southeastern Conference. Now, Billy, I've fought for Billy. I think that he's a phenomenal football coach. He had to turn a culture, which is really hard to do, and it took a little time. And then he got a guy behind center in DJ Lagway that is an incredibly gifted young man, a very composed young man. I had the opportunity to interview him with McGee at SEC Media Days, and we were very impressed with him. Billy's got it humming, but again, they have the hardest schedule in the country. So that's another part of this league that makes it difficult is there's just not a week off. There's just not any week off where you can rest. When Vanderbilt's beating Alabama last year, that scene in Christmas Vacation where Clark lights up the house with the Christmas lights, and he's going down the line of the family and saying, "Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it beautiful?" He gets to cousin Eddie, and Eddie goes, "You surprised, Clark?" and Clark goes, "I would if I woke up this morning with my head sewn to the carpet. I wouldn't be as surprised as I am right now." Well, that's Vanderbilt beating Alabama last year, but Clark Lee has even built a program on the verge with Diego Pavia behind center. So it's just really difficult in terms of people whose jobs might be questionable. Certainly you're going to look at Coach Pittman, which pains me to say because he's one of my favorite people in the world, but winning is the business, and he'll be the first to tell you that. He told that to McGee and me last month at Media Days. And so some people might point to guys like Mark Stoops at Kentucky, who's had a tremendous tenure there. But can they take that next step? Look, if John Gruden came to the SEC, the time-space continuum might just fold in on itself because it would be just another incredible mind, incredibly passionate guy that would be great for the league. I don't know if you guys have ever spent time around him, but that damn guy is intense as all hell all the time, and I love being around him.
He loves ball, man. I love when somebody loves, whatever they're passionate about. John Gruden's clearly passionate about football. He loves it. Another guy that's very passionate, Darius Butler, he's got a question for you.
Hell yeah. I know you've been boots on the ground in SEC for a long, long time. A couple of days ago, maybe yesterday, SEC and Auburn great Cam Newton's jersey was going to get retired. It got announced. He'll go up in the rafters. Any memory of Cam Newton, that unbelievable run he had at Auburn? And then is there a team this year that can maybe go on a magical run like that?
Well, Darius, first of all, the Cam back. When he put that entire team on his shoulders and came back against Alabama in the Iron Bowl, that's really the stamp of what was an incredible season at Auburn. And some people may forget he played 1 year there, and he only did every damn thing that you can do. This jersey retirement, this number retirement is a long time coming. All the guy did was win the Heisman, win a national championship, do every single thing you can do individually, and put his entire team on his shoulders every single Saturday. That guy he's an alien. And I've had the opportunity to be around him some because I live in Charlotte, and he, of course, was the MVP of the league here. And he did a lot for the community that people don't know about.
Oh, yeah.
And I've always appreciated that about Cam. Anytime I'm around him, he's so cool and so gracious with his time. And just as a quick story, a friend of mine had a son that was battling cancer, and ultimately lost that cancer, that battle with cancer. And they had a Halloween celebration for him earlier in October than Halloween actually fell. And there was this young lady went to Auburn, lifelong Auburn fanatic, and it got to Cam that this young man who was battling cancer was one of his biggest fans, and Cam showed up.
That's awesome.
That's pretty special.
So those are things, man, those are things that are not championed enough that so many athletes are doing. And for a guy like Cam that can be polarizing to a lot of people, I can tell you that my personal experience, and I've seen what he's done here in Charlotte, congrats to him, man.
Hell yeah.
Congrats to Cam. Unbelievable player. Yeah, it's cool hearing the off-the-field stuff like that. Tone Diggs, you got something for Marty?
Yeah, I do. It's we're going to stick down in Auburn, down on the plains. Hugh Freeze came out and said he may play all three quarterbacks against Baylor in week one. And I think that kind of caught people off guard because they bring in Jackson Arnold. They pay Jackson Arnold, who's the 5-star freshman out of Oklahoma, who they bring in. And it kind of threw people off. I know they have a very highly touted freshman who they just brought in and a kid who started out of Stanford last year, but I think everyone thought Jackson was going to be the starter. What is your sense of the situation down there with Hugh Freeze? Is it a situation? Because I've heard practice hasn't gone incredibly great for that first-team offense. What are you reading about the Auburn quarterback situation? Because it's one of the only quarterbacks we have left to hear about.
Yeah, it tells you they're really searching. Yeah. And Coach Freeze has a very specific kind of guy he wants behind center. He told us at SEC Media Days when McGee and I sat down with him that he looked at Jackson Arnold as a guy that has incredible talent, and we know that. I mean, he was a 50-star coming out of high school, starts at Oklahoma. It did not go in any way, shape, or form like all of us expected it would at Oklahoma. Jackson looked confused a lot. When he was behind center in Norman. He told us, takes a fresh start, goes over to the Plains, and we all just made the assumption, especially by the fact that he was one of the three players for Auburn that was at Media Day speaking on behalf of the program, that it was a foregone conclusion that he would be the guy. It just tells you that he's still trying to grasp what Coach Freeze wants to do, and these other guys might be doing as good a job. Going into a first game like that with three guys that are going to see action, not good at all for Coach Freeze in a season where he knows that there is so much pressure to win. It's just the way it is. It's the job, and so They better get that tightened up in a hurry, man.
How do you figure 3 of them out? Like, you hope 2 of them play bad and one plays great? How do you figure that out?
I don't know because I don't. AJ, you've been around the game your whole life and have forgotten more about football than I'll ever know. I've never heard of that.
It just seems like it's already tough enough when there's 2 of the guys, but if you're going to play 3 and say, all right, hey, who's going to separate themselves out of this group? Yeah, I mean, crazier things have happened. I don't know. But
Can't find the rhythm, man.
A quarterback's a position, too, where it's like, I don't know. I just like when the rest of the team knows who's in command, who is in charge,
and that player knows.
Yeah.
And that player knows, to Darius's point about rhythm, there's also self-confidence. The quarterback superpower is self-confidence. And if you're looking over your shoulder, you don't have that, at least not to the degree internally that is required to know the play, be able to read what the defense is doing and rip. There's going to be just maybe a little bit of hesitation in there, and you just can't have hesitation.
There was a practice clip where Jackson Arnold, they were in the red zone, and I think it was like 2-on-2. It was just a nickel in the corner outside, and he didn't throw the ball. So, yeah, there's definitely some confidence stuff going on there.
And Coach Freeze is obviously frustrated too, guys. If you've seen any of the footage from him getting pissed off and, throwing his visor, and that's a guy you got to remember, like, Coach Freeze has won everywhere he's been. He's a real good ball coach. And so to get another lease on the SEC as he has at a tradition-rich program like Auburn and be that close to beating Nick Saban again with Gravedigger 2 years ago, that's the kind of loss. That loss sticks with you. It sticks with the program. It's like Temple of Doom when that warlord dude tears that guy's heart out and shows it to him.
Exactly. That being said, Con, man, you have something for Marty?
Yeah, Marty, speaking of looking over his shoulder, hopefully C.J. Carr isn't doing that at Notre Dame. He was finally named the starter after a pretty hefty battle. I personally feel as though I've been hearing about C.J. Carr from Irish fans for the past 5 years, so it was a little bit of a surprise that it was even up for debate that he was going to be the starting quarterback. What should we expect out of him in Notre Dame, and do you worry about him, thinking that Kenny's behind him and that he might get a shot, or do you think C.J. Carr gets kind of the Danny Jones treatment and ends up being the QB for the entire season?
Yeah, what Marcus Freeman has humming there in South Bend is so impressive because they have built such a fantastic culture. They have built such a sustainable excellence that decision was made for a reason, and that's because that young man was running that offense the best. And he has a lot of talent around him, a lot of talent. He's got a Heisman candidate lining up behind him. He's got a great line in front of him. And so I have no worry about that at all. And in fact, what they did last year to me was such an incredible statement because to beat the teams that they beat to get to the national championship, I just think that they are just getting started. I think that last year was a statement, but I just think this is such a sustainable thing that Marcus has built. He loves to be there, and I think that they have the opportunity to take another step. Now, will they win the national championship? They're not my pick, but I think they're going to be in that conversation for sure.
Yeah, you would think with Marcus there, they'll be in that conversation for a long time to come, a long time down the road. But I want a quick pivot before we let you go there, Marty. What do you think of Scottie Scheffler? Obviously chipping in on 17, getting another big victory. What are your thoughts on his dominance right now in the PGA Tour?
I'll try to be succinct because we're running out of time, but there's not enough superlatives. And that's not just what he's doing on the golf course. You look at that chip right there that you guys are showing on 17 last weekend. That wasn't by happenstance. He practiced that exact shot with that exact pin placement during his practice rounds and what he expected to be the putt following. He didn't need that putt. But that's the kind of thing that just rips Bobby McIntyre's soul out.
Yeah.
And this what Scottie is doing is incredible, and it's not just the golf excellence. It's the man that he is. It's the way he's doing it. I don't remember another athlete in any other sport that does this in a way that it's not the most forthright thing in his entire life. Scottie is playing golf because he loves to work at golf, and it's his gift from God. But it is not Scottie's number one light in his life. And I want to read you guys something going all the way back to April 9th, 2022. This is the night before he won the Masters the first time. And I interviewed him that evening on Saturday night for Sports Center and for the Masters podcast, For Please Now Driving. And I asked him, to what degree have you allowed yourself to consider the emotion of that green jacket sliding across your shoulders tomorrow afternoon? And this is what he said verbatim. And I have a little note card. This is what he said. If I win this golf tournament, it will change my life on the golf course, but it won't change my personal life at home. Winning the golf tournament isn't going to satisfy my soul or my heart. I know that going in, so I'm able to play freely, knowing that the rest really isn't up to me. I'm just going to go do my best. Now you think about that. How many athletes, period, but especially the elite of the elite historically, can genuinely look in the mirror and look at their beautiful wife and son with that authentic energy of, you are first? That is different. And I admire it to a degree that is incapable of being properly stated.
Well said, Marty. We admire you, Marty. Just to let you know, everybody here in the Thunderdome, Pat and his travels.
I love you guys.
Love you, Marty.
Love you,
We appreciate
Marty.
you, Marty. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Marty Smith.
Thank you, Marty. Love you, Marty.
Yeah, Scottie Scheffler's pretty special, huh?
Yeah.
That's scoop.
You
He's
think
memorable.
people try to say, oh, he don't care about ball that much, though? Because he cares about life. He cares about his wife, kids. He says all this. He doesn't care about golf.
Yeah, at this point, I think it's not even a question. It's not even a debate. I think people understand, like, okay, yeah, this guy loves golf, but also he's just better than him.
It's not his identity, though. That's what's cool. Like, it's not. He's like, I play golf. I'm a golfer, but it's not who I am. That's what I feel like he's saying. Yeah. But you play golf. It's not your identity. You probably want it to be your identity now, though, right?
It is who I am. I love my kids. I love my family.
You scratch golfer yet?
No, hell no. I'm shooting anywhere from about 80, let's say 84 to 91.
You've probably shot 75, though.
No, I haven't broke 80 yet, actually. My lowest score has been 82.
Well, you're actually probably putting everything out.
I put everything out. I don't count the score.
Is it? Have you ever played golf with anybody else? They don't put anything under 10 feet, I feel like. A lot of guys.
A lot.
Well, they're not playing golf.
That's good for me. I'm like, all right, not if we're gambling, it's not good.
Yeah.
Like, you're lucky we're not gambling on this.
Now, I'm not putting out a triple bogey or, but, I'll take a gimme on that.
Sure,
but if I'm, birdie, par, bogey, like I'm putting up for sure.
That chip that Scottie had on 17, though, like that is another one that's going to stick in every other golfer's brain. If Scottie is lurking anywhere, and Tiger had this obviously huge effect back in the day.
Yeah.
But now that just is another thing that gives Scottie to where before the round even starts, Scottie already has him. Scottie already is like, you're already ahead on these guys because they know like this guy will make magic happen. I don't know how you beat him right now.
Yeah, what'd you say? How did they start the last round? Bobby Mack?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Bobby Mack was like 4 up, and then he bogeys 3 of his first 4 holes, and Scottie birdies 3 of his first 4 holes. And guess what? Scottie's your new leader. It's just like, I don't know if there's been a guy since Tiger where with his C game, he could go out and win a tournament. And if he has his A game, like,
it's over.
He's winning by multiple strokes. So it's just like, I don't know. You have to be better than perfect. Because we were talking about it, like Bobby Mack was unbelievable all week. I mean, I can't remember, what was it, Friday? He birdied 6 of his, his last 6 holes.
How many birdies he had through the first 3 rounds compared to how many he had in the last 30 holes.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you watch him play, it's like, okay, this guy's destined to win this week. Like, if you're playing this good, it doesn't matter how good anyone else is playing. But then Scottie just has the ability, and I think guys now, too, it's getting to the point, definitely not anywhere near what it was like with Tiger, but like on Sunday when it was close and a guy had to play with Tiger in that final group, like those guys would crumble. Like they would feel that pressure way more than being solo leader or anything like that, and it feels like it's that way with Scottie now too.
Yeah, they released after he won like the weeks that he still needs to tie Tiger for the most consecutive weeks at number one, and it's Halloween
2028.
Yeah, Halloween. Yeah,
that is. I mean, yeah, he can do it.
Right now, I'd probably bet on him doing it.
Well, I got a question with the FedEx the championship points and how it is, because we just saw what happened in Live with Waco winning 5 events, Rahm not, and him winning the championship. In what scenario could Scottie not win?
So he doesn't get a lead. They changed it though.
So last year,
he used to get a lead heading in, right? Diggs?
So last year, Scottie would have been first, obviously coming in points. So he would have started 10 under, I believe. This final.
And the closest would have been what?
I think 7 or 8 under.
So about 3-shot lead over the next closest.
Correct. This year they changed it. It's just a flat out tournament. Like he gets no advantage. So I think it's very stupid.
So he doesn't have to win this last one to win the money, right?
He comes in fourth. Like
he's still winning.
I think he would have to withdraw to not win.
Yeah, shot in the head or something.
No, it's my understanding.
No, I did a lot of research on this because I've been very confused by it. Anyone can come in first in this tournament championship, and they can win the $20 million. And I don't know how or why they changed it this way. Unless we're wrong, I researched like 4 different places, and it said whoever gets first place gets the $20 million.
So the points don't matter. The points just get you into the tournament. And now it's like, hey, get to the final tournament.
You just got to get top 30, and you have a chance.
That's.
I hope we're wrong.
Yeah, I hope so
too. We're wrong because I thought that was the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Did Royce just skip the first?
He did.
He did.
Yeah, because he didn't have to.
Took a bye week.
Yeah, he didn't play in Memphis.
Because he had enough points that he didn't have to, because he still would have been top 50, top 30.
Does he get money for coming in first at the end of the regular season? Because if he does, then it would make sense where it's like, hey, winner. No, I'm asking. I don't know.
Okay.
That
would make more sense.
I think the winner.
He won 10 mil for that tournament, didn't he?
Yeah, the winner of this one makes 20, I think.
Yeah, now if you're the FedEx Cup champ, it's 20 or 25, I think.
Correct. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was wondering if because he doesn't get any advantage for having all those points, does he get some sort of? No, there's not like a regular season.
Because he has double the next.
That's what
points,
this
think,
is
right?
essentially.
And then they need to rebrand it then and stop calling it like the playoffs and everything, because it's like this guy's your champion.
But at the same time, if Scotty's going in with a 5-shot lead over people, it's kind of weird too.
That was a little Mickey Mouse.
I guess
it was Mickey Mouse, but
it,
at least it gives you an advantage for having the kind of year that he had.
You can't be the 30th guy and have the exact same advantage to win $20 million as Scottie Scheffler right now.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why there's no way we can be right.
If you want to think about it this way, though, technically, the 16th team that gets in the NFL playoffs does have the exact same chance to win the Super Bowl that the number 1 14 and 2 team does.
Gotta go to the road.
They got to buy though.
Sure.
They gotta go to the road.
Well, Scottie could have taken 3 weeks off and had buys.
And then he showed up for this one?
Yeah, could have.
It's even more impressive how Scottie is dominating now with, he knows, he's the only one that knows how hard it is to win a golf tournament. He's like, hey, I know I make it look easy, but this is really, really tough. Every week to continue to play four days, hey, and to still stay on top and to still dominate, in that moment, we take it for granted, I think.
Yeah, he's doing pro-ams too.
Of course.
It's not like he's just going Thursday to Sunday, which should be.
He's probably showing up Monday.
Yeah, he's probably there Monday. Yeah,
but the fact that all that is to where he's at that point where it's a Tiger level almost, where hey, if Scotty's in the field, you can bet on the field, you can bet on Scotty. Most people are taking Scotty. That's a lot. And Scotty knows that. The fact that he knows that and he's still dominating at this level, I don't want to take it for granted, because he's got to know, hey man, if I have one off tournament, everyone's going to think I'm done for life.
He doesn't.
Imagine if he finishes 50th or he misses a cut someday.
He's not going to.
I know.
That's the thing. You say
he's
if
the
he has
most
one off
tough
tournament,
dude on the planet.
He doesn't. This guy wins every week, and when he plays like shit, he gets top 10. It's crazy. It's unbelievable.
Got thrown in jail and he finished 7th.
Yeah.
Got Caddy back too. Caddy back, Ted Scott back.
Yeah, exactly.
Ted had to deal with some family issues. He came back. He's on the back. Even Bryson said, I played against Scotty in college. He was not this good in college. So whatever it is clicked with his swing, mentally. We know golf is all mental.
Yeah.
What separates those guys?
Scotty and John Rahm need to go pink slips. If Scotty ends
up
winning.
Rom won the live
situation,
right?
Mm-hmm.
How much was that? 10 mil?
18
to win their whole championship?
Yep.
Back-to-back champion.
Oh, he won it back-to-back years.
Yeah.
Did you watch it all?
Of course.
There's an indie tournament. When did the indie tournament happen?
It was last weekend. Nick
Riley was
said
there.
he was awesome.
Nick, it was sweet, right, in person?
It was sweet in person. So much different than how it is portrayed on TV, and it was really cool in person.
What do you mean exactly?
I don't know. On TV, it just doesn't come across as captivating, and maybe
like
it's because
hockey's awesome in person. On TV, it is awesome, but not as great.
Yeah, kind of. It was just a cool atmosphere. It was fun. It was a little more relaxed than PGA events, and it was a good time.
Okay, so
clear this up for us, Diggs.
A little bit. They so the winner of this last tournament doesn't get the 20 whatever anymore. They get 10 million for winning this one.
Oh, okay.
Scottie was actually in favor of this because Scottie didn't like having the how they started minus 10 or whatever last year. So this year they gave out bonuses based on if you were where you were in the top 10 at the end of the season, after the BMW stuff like that. So they did get money already.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Hey, we're up against it. I appreciate Daniel Jeremiah, Adam Schefter, the great Marty Smith was with us. We appreciate you. Tomorrow, I won't be here. I'll be joining remotely. Someone else will be in this.
What?
I don't know who. Stick around. See you tomorrow.
Nice.
Nailed it.
Man, what a tease. Talker.
I don't know who. I don't know if we're supposed to say. I don't know anything about it.
Fucking
I
bro.
didn't say.
Why don't you pop that lid off and show us those
Yeah,
beautiful
I'll be all right.
flowing locks of yours?
It's not beautiful flowing locks right now. Look, where's my hair?
Is this
Look.
the?
I gotta grow out my sides.
It's coming.
That's what I was gonna.
I'm just growing my sides out because I shaved my head up in here. Then got like two. I just want to grow my sides out, and then I can have a.
You're gonna look like
I can cut
JJ
it.
Watt. Did you see his new beautiful hair?
What's his new hair? I
He
saw
just-
him walk. Was he drinking beers with the?
Yeah, he's
the
just been
soccer
growing
lads?
it out.
Ice cold one.
His hair's sweet.
He's got a good flowing flow right
When's his first? What's the first assignment he has in the
now.
boot?
It's Steelers, actually. It's
Yeah,
Steelers Jets.
Steelers Jets.
Yeah.
Oh, great one. Honestly, Jade's gonna do great all year. I think.
Jade
loves ball.
That's a good boost.
So look at his hair. Looks awesome.
That's what you're gonna look like.
Yeah, I don't have. He's got some curls too. I don't have those natural nice curls. So what are they doing? They're doing like a walk to the stadium.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
his first game with
Mallorca.
Espanol.
This is new
Espanol.
team. So Gump, this is the second team.
Yeah, they actually beat one of the best teams in Spain 2-1. It was a massive win.
It's like
First
the
game.
first team. It was the first time that team they beat lost on opening day since like 2000 or something.
Yeah, Atletico Madrid is like right behind Barcelona and Real. It was an unbelievable win for his new squad.
Were you there, Gump, at this game?
No, I was in Mallorca the night before for Mallorca Barcelona.
How was it in Mallorca? I heard it was pretty nice.
It's beautiful there. I cannot express how good Lamine Yamal is live.
Oh my God!
Every time he gets the ball on his foot,
17-year-old.
the defender is
18-year-old.
fighting for his life, man. He cut in on two guys, put one top shelf. Unbelievable atmosphere.
Tell him, D-Bud. We introduced D-Bud, or Gump introduced D-Bud to Lamine
now you're all
Yamal.
in.
Yeah,
You're all in.
we were in the Zebo yesterday after the show, and just talking the beautiful game, and I'm like, I gotta see this kid, man, because I actually saw a headline with him this offseason, which had nothing to do with soccer. I'm like,
What did it have to do with?
you know what? I like this guy. I like
Did it have
this
to do
kid.
with
Let me
his
check
birthday
him out.
party?
And I don't know, but I had some highlights, just probably like a 10-minute highlight on YouTube of just top 50 plays maybe. And I don't know much about soccer, but I play FIFA. This dude is.
Is he doing this thing, the feet over?
Bro,
Having a
it's
10-minute highlight at 17 years old by itself is ridiculous.
And
been
it's
playing
like
pro
he's
since he was 10 years old,
and he's
probably.
playing against the best, the best guys
Yeah, World Cup.
in the world. You know what I mean? This dude was 16, 17, 18, and the shit he was doing. Regardless, if you don't know shit about the sport, you could just see him and the shit he's doing and what he's doing to other guys. Unbelievable. So this Saturday, 3 o'clock, I will be tuned in to catch him. I put it in my
What network?
calendar.
How do you
Ask
see it?
Gumps.
ESPN or ESPN Plus, they got the La Liga deal. But I'm telling you, every
watching
time he gets the
Farmageddon.
ball on his foot,
what's
like
up?
you'll see the other defenders go over because they know they got to help the other guy because they're in hell.
They know he's
They're
gonna make
just
him
gonna
look
skin
foolish
them
or
all.
what?
He's so fast with his feet. It's insane, man.
Huh. So it's just a matter of time before an MLS squad picks him up.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Into
Columbus.
Miami.
Tell Columbus to pick
Probably
him up.
not.
About 20 years.
I
Lamine
tell you
actually
what,
grew
I
up
saw
like
that
that.
operation they got going at Barcelona. That is a beautiful setup they got.
Well, you
there.
said it was pretty similar to like Real Salt Lake, right?
Yeah, just a tad bit, like just a
Messi
little bit
left it.
better. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and not to mention Lamine Yamal grew up like a diehard Timbers fan.
Yeah, he did.
So it's not
He
like-
did.
Yeah,
Like most do over there.
yeah, it's not as if he just
he loves the
is
song of the
unaware.
logs. Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, no, he's a. Yeah,
I'm gonna check him out. I'll watch this guy's highlights. Maybe on the drive home. Maybe not. No, I'll wait.
No,
till
you
Shouldn't do that on your
I'll wait
drive
till I get home. Of
Yeah,
course.
it's storming out
You
there.
should watch.
Is it really?
Careful, yeah.
I know you're not a soccer fan, but you should watch.
I'm a fan of anyone that's really awesome at something.
Yeah,
And
same.
this
Even if
kid
they're good.
is.
Same.
Okay. Watching soccer dudes in person, even at the TST thing, like you see the guys that are really good, like when they separate themselves, it's like the whole first touch and how they can calm.
Yeah,
it's being patient with the ball.
Like black boots?
When they're like watching dudes, yes, and red boots. When watching guys that are
Rugs.
Yeah, you're right.
Remember old Rugs?
Yep.
What about the Indianapolis Nightmare
Outlaw?
How dare you?
He was a little bit of an Indianapolis nightmare this year, though.
If you're the outlaw, might be past it, brother.
Yeah.
No,
He's a father now. He's a little long in the tooth. It happens.
How many guys?
We got a few lads who are long in the tooth.
How many guys did you guys say were long in the tooth this past year?
I
We were
mean,
at TST.
Grella's tooth was dragging behind the guy.
Grella's doing like a Rocky IV Ivan Drago type workout for the next 350 days.
Yeah,
just to prove that he's not
suck
long in
again.
the tooth again next year.
Yeah, he's going to prove the opposite, though. He's going to end up coming into, TST. He's going to be all tired.
You think?
I know.
Tear a hamstring like day one. Like guys would come in and tear their hamstring like a conditioning test.
He's going to be on the pitch.
Coming in the best shape of my life. Dude tears his hamstring the second gasser you run.
The
Cool.
worst.
That was cool, guys. Just come in healthy, right?
I mean, I've learned when you got older and you become able, they say be a pro. A lot of those things are preventable. The soft tissue stuff, they definitely are preventable. Especially if you're a guy like me who was a low body fat guy, so you had more higher tendency to, tear a calf or a groin or a hammy or quad or something like that. Hydration was everything. You had to hydrate around the clock, and then for me, like actually sleeping changed everything for me, because up until I was probably like 27, 28, like I wasn't going to sleep before like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Really?
And I wasn't like running the streets, but I'd be in bed, I'd be playing video games, I'd just be on my phone just doing something until like 2:30 in the morning. And then when I actually started getting like 7, 8 hours of sleep, completely changed everything as far as recovery and like preventing shit for sure.
You have to.
Simple. It's simple, but it's big.
Though. But you got to think certain things you have to figure out.
You got to figure out what works for you.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't work for everybody else.
Didn't everybody do that to you? I'm sure when you first got in the league, like coaches would tell you, hey, make sure you got to do exactly, prepare just like this guy did.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever the guy is before you. Okay, I'm going to watch him. I'm going to question him. I might, but like some of the stuff's not going to work for me probably.
And some people just go, but it works for them. They do, over the top shit. But
you got 18 hours at the facility.
I'm at the facility at 4:30. I leave at 7. Okay, you hate your family. I get it. But like, you get in, whatever works for you. Sometimes it's hot tub, it's cold tub, maybe it's a contrast. You get a massage, some MAT, some chiropractor. Stretch, you get your routine and you just figure it out, and then but you do I ask questions. I ask some of the vets some questions, and you get
you ask the right guys questions. There's some guys you don't need to ask.
Yeah, I want to watch the guys who are going to figure it out, even if they're maybe limping throughout Monday through Friday, and then Sunday, boom. It's like, okay, what the fuck? How do you do that? And it's just they have their process, and everybody has their different things. And once you get your schedule and you figure it out. But it's important that it works, because everybody's home life is different, everybody's body is different, so you really have to figure out what works for you, so that your body that's your money maker. You can't be out there, you can't make the club in the tub. That's what we saw. That's what the old heads always said, so it's true.
I know if I'm a coach though, I don't want a dude that comes in as like 22 years old as a rookie or something. I don't need him to have a 2-hour warm-up every day to get to practice.
Legit.
He doesn't need to have like a, circle jerk session with 4 people on his staff to get him warmed up to like, there's also like, you have to find a way to make it with the team. There's not just individual. You got to be able to warm up with the team and do this and just all of a sudden go, especially if you're a young kid.
Yeah, you got to, man.
I ain't never seen Secretariat stretch. I had multiple guys I played with always would say that. I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Valid.
But then as I got older, I learned, hey, I need to stretch a little bit.
Yeah,
I might need
for sure.
But I don't know, Ty, you don't need to stretch.
Nah, I'm a fat slob. So
Come on now.
I really don't.
Don't say that.
Nah,
hey, baseball.
We don't play in the league. Actually.
Yeah,
I don't like you talking negative on yourself, Ty. That's false. You look great. You feel great. Hopefully, Aaron Judge, baseball.
I saw you.
How the Yankees doing?
I saw you slinging the what do you call it?
You can throw it.
Oh, the slinging Sammy ball.
Yeah.
That thing is nice. What'd you say?
Baseball. The Yankees still doing it?
They are tied with the Red Sox and the Mariners atop the wild card standings right now. They got 2 games against the Tampa Bay Rays down at their spring training facility.
That's right.
Which is the Rays' home field, and then they go back to New York for a 4-game set with Boston. So, yeah, it's really heating up. It's really starting to heat up. That's basically going to determine, hey, is it worth being invested in this team for the last month of the season when football season?
They don't go on a run. They can get rid of Aaron Boone. I was an Aaron Boone fan.
Yeah, me too.
Time for him to hit the bricks.
Me too. But
who'd you bring in? Come on now.
Sean Casey.
Sean Casey, I would. Yeah. Is hamstring okay? Torn hamstring okay?
Yeah, he has that big device that it's got the seat inside the
mare.
Yeah, he looks like the Baron from Dune.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what. Savannah Banana's been popping up. They're smart. They know when to play. Like they've been selling out huge places. They know when.
Peyton Hillis just played for the Bananas the other night.
Hillis?
Yes,
that guy you wouldn't beat in the hole.
Yeah.
No, I'm
cover
Peyton
I'm
Hillis.
going low. Yeah. Just saved his
kids,
nephew and kids.
Did he hit a donger, hit a homer?
No, he grounded out to first base. A little weak grounded the other way, but he did. Of
course.
And they're doing the goofy bullshit. It's hard to fucking hit off a guy wearing a cowboy hat on the mound.
Take it out.
I mean,
he should have just trucked that guy.
Would have been awesome.
He should have trucked that guy and then kicked the ump in the face.
What is the ref? Watch this ref. The ump. I keep saying ref.
The first ninja
base.
Ump. Yeah, he's a ninja guy.
Oh, yeah. I remember him.
That ump sucks.
Look at me.
The ump behind the plate is a big part of the show.
He is. The dancing ump, I believe, is what they call him.
Oh, yeah. That's not the normal ump behind the plate.
Yeah. No, it's not.
The normal ump.
Was this against? No, it's
behind the legs. Back to the legs.
Oh. Is that the part? Yeah, you're right.
PAs versus the boys.
Yep.
How many teams do we have now in Savannah Land?
I want to say 4. Yeah.
Yeah, you got the firefighters, the party animals, the bananas, and then
the tailgaters. That was the tailgaters.
Oh,
tailgaters.
Wait, are the firefighters really firefighters?
I believe so. I don't know, but I believe so.
He's skeptical. Tony,
I didn't believe so.
That'd be pretty weird to name your team the Firefighters and then not have any former firefighters.
Stolen valor, right? It's stolen valor.
Big time.
Doing that.
Big time.
Anyone ever go to a game here in person? Anybody?
They were at Victory Field not too long ago, and unfortunately they'll never come back because they're selling out 100,000
way bigger
stadiums. So but I think didn't Mitt maybe went? I'm pretty sure
Mitt was absolutely.
Yeah, did he bring his glove because you can catch a ball and it's an out.
Yeah,
right? If you catch a foul ball.
Yeah, you got a black eye. You missed it.
Oh no!
2 players on the firefighters are firefighters
currently.
Yeah.
Are the rest of them ex-firefighters? You have some kind of firefighting background, I would hope. Or maybe I'm just a fan
it's like
of firefighters.
like family of like Navy Federal, like
Yeah, with a great
Like 3 cousins removed.
Boom.
Dad's brother was a firefighter. Thought about being a firefighter.
Mm-hmm. They're coached by a firefighter.
Boom.
That's all we need.
Who,
Does he have a mustache?
Coached by who? What did you say?
Yeah, who is coaching these squads?
I think it's just Dennis Leary.
Dennis Leary.
I don't know, Leary, my bad.
The firefighter show.
Rescue me.
They are coached by Corpus Christi, Texas firefighter and USA baseball women's national player Valerie Perez.
Okay.
All right, Val.
I want to know who comes up with all the choreographed dances and different things that they.
Curious George.
There's so
Mr. Banana.
Curious George.
Yeah, is that who you're calling?
Yeah.
That's you're saying Curious George is the what's his name again?
Jesse.
Yeah, he's the man in yellow.
He's a marketing genius.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying him.
I just listen to him talk about it's not about making a profit. They're trying to get 1 billion fans. Is that
he doesn't
right?
want to make money.
Was he on your brother's podcast? I think he
probably was back in the day.
I think he was.
I bet he was. My brother's been to a few games, I think, actually, now that I think about it. Back when they were the smaller venues. Now it's too hard to get a ticket, I think.
You're saying before they were mainstream.
Yeah, before when they were at the level of the music that Gump listens to. Yeah, Ryan was on them early, I guess. You know how Gump listens to a lot of these bangers, pal, that we haven't heard of, and they're like the underground. Gump's listened to them 6 to 12 months before anyone has ever heard of them, right, Gump?
Of course, spot on there.
That's
Harker.
a compliment to you, Gump.
I know.
He's out there finding the new stuff for us.
I'm in the weeds, brother.
Gump does have a couple Spotify playlists where I said, "Hey man, can you send me that?" And he has, and it works. It's good.
Connor's out there. He's gonna probably take over that spot.
Oh,
he's in the.
Are you good with the aux?
Yeah. Everyone usually loves when I'm on aux.
Really? Mm-hmm. I don't know if I believe it.
Shoot.
But also you learned how to play euchre.
Yes, I did.
You like it?
I got shit. Me and Fox.
I heard you guys won
last week.
Fox, you guys won. You guys won, right?
Big win. Yeah, D-Bud's playing great right now.
Big win.
It was 9-1. We came back 9-9.
So close.
Foxy laid
it. Be so
Foxy,
so
they
so
were nervous, but then Foxy laid it down. He had. We didn't even play the last hand because Foxy
had them all.
Yeah, it came up red, and fortunately, it just wasn't in the cards for us. But 9-1 comeback, I'll take that all day.
That's a moral victory.
Well, usually we just have legitimate victories, so sometimes it's nice to see how the other shoe feels,
Yeah, I guess. You can see.
They did battle.
Makes you more relatable.
Exactly.
You understand what it's like.
Yeah, bring me back down to earth a little.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. So do you guys know who's coming here tomorrow?
No.
It's a toss-up for us every day.
It's a surprise for us,
That's
too.
going to be cool to watch him burst through the door.
That's what we do.
How do you know someone?
If it
How do you know?
might be a her.
Yeah.
I said someone.
No,
No,
you
you
didn't.
said him.
Just hear
said
their
sure?
theme music.
Yeah, that's kind of messed up.
I'll believe you.
Class break.
I'll be interested to see
Maybe.
which
Stone Cold
human
Steve
comes through that door. Or animal or robot. What if it was one of the robot? I was watching a robot box somebody on the way here. And they
What's
said,
with
you better
you
watch.
watching
I gotta
videos
drive-
while you're
I gotta
driving
drive.
on the interstate?
I had to drive.
What the hell's wrong
He
with
said
you,
he's gonna
dude?
watch the highlights on his way back on the drive.
I had a driver. I wasn't texting.
Oh,
That's a lot
okay,
better than
okay.
texting, right?
That's a driver.
If
I'm
you
gonna
have,
guess.
listen, his truck, I've seen it. It's got a nice little perch. You can set your phone right up there. It's fine.
Pete Thamel drove me here, yeah.
AJ, get off your goddamn cell phone, okay, and talk to me for Christ's sake. I've asked you 100 questions and you're not answering any of them.
I do. You know what I do love with Pete? We had him on the other day or last week. I would, whenever we're doing those games, those college football playoff games, which is the best thing ever. Before the game, at some point, I'd be like,
You always.
Pete, what do you got? Pete, hey, for real, like what are you hearing, buddy? And he would have so many different things. He would hand me a packet usually of different stuff. The packet was gold, and then he would always have something. I can't do his voice at all, but he would have like a couple things
of
that were
that-
like question
that
marks
ilk.
of value that you could possibly use. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
And it was so good. I love Pete. Like I love how much info he has.
Let me check on
I don't have the brain to hold all that.
He's so plugged.
He is.
I talked to this coach. I talked to that guy's parent. I talked to this guy. He transferred. Like he knows
The
it
best
all.
is when we're trying to get information from him during the game.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
He comes over to Ty. Who was the injury last year?
Dylan Sampson.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, I fucked up. He's not. That's not the injury.
No, he kept saying he was fine. And we're like,
Yeah,
he's
no,
not.
he's walking to the locker room right now. Jesus Christ, I fucked up. He is hurt. I'll go figure it out.
Best of the best.
There's too many people, especially in college football.
Oh yeah.
They move. Every player and coach moves around too much. There's like 500 schools, and how do you keep track of
He
it?
does basketball too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's what 3-4x D1 basketball
That's-
squad. So
That's wild to think of. Who's going to be the best basketball team this year? College basketball.
are you gone again?
Who?
Iowa.
Oh, okay. The women's or men's? Both?
The men's.
Men's Iowa basketball, are they? I
Yeah.
believe it.
Dawn of a new era.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
Good. I can't wait.
Have
don't
a
need to- we don't need to talk about
completely new
college
team.
basketball yet.
Yeah, we definitely don't need to talk about college
Yeah,
basketball.
if you ask me like who the
dialed
best team is
in.
going to be in February, I'll let you know.
Will you?
Yeah.
I don't think you will.
Yeah, I will.
No. Where's LeBron's youngest son going again?
Arizona.
He's
When's he
there.
start that?
He's
He
there
already
now.
did.
Oh, yeah. I saw the video when he,
He
came
came
home
back
from college.
and he had a beard. Yeah, and LeBron was clowning him.
Look at that beard. You know.
He's big. He's lanky as
These
fuck.
dudes are monsters.
He's like, I'm pretty sure he's like 6'4", 6'5".
At least, probably.
Because when he was, I mean, when Bronny was in college and Bryce was still in high school, he was already talking.
How tall is Riley Green?
6'4".
He looks huge.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
He's super jacked, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he lifts a bunch.
Could throw the football damn country mile,
Didn't he
too.
play QB?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Where was that?
Jacksonville State.
Jacksonville State. Zito, you know where that is?
I'm going to guess Jacksonville.
You'd be wrong.
Yeah.
Well,
it's in Alabama.
It is. I know. The only reason I asked that is because I've been wrong. I've been
It
wrong
is.
my whole life until then.
It is. You'd assume Florida.
You would assume that.
You would.
It's not.
Speaking of that, I know we're jumping around a little bit before we wrap this sucker up.
It's the best.
The Jacksonville Jaguars might surprise some people.
Okay.
Ty, what do you? Ty doesn't seem to
You
be.
made the statement. Let's hear
Yeah.
why.
Yeah. I think Trevor Lawrence and Liam Cohen, I think they might be all right.
Mr. Combe.
Yeah. Liam Cohen. That's a tough one to say.
Yeah.
I don't know if I
Yeah,
ever said that
Combs
one
got
out
a
loud.
chance.
I like Trevor.
Obviously, I like what Travis Hunter can do. I don't know how they're going to use him. I don't know what he's going to major. Is he going to major in receiver
like
or
Trevor?
major in DB?
He's going to
I don't
major.
think I've heard you say that before. You like Trevor
Lawrence?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do actually.
Really?
Yeah, there was a before Aaron signed with the Steelers this year. There was a internet rumor for about a day and a half that Trevor Lawrence was getting traded to the Steelers, and I was pumped.
Okay.
That's wild. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence, I feel like in football circles has kind of become, well, that guy's making $55 million, so that quarterback has to get a new contract. He hasn't lived up to the hype that he had coming in. He's supposed to be the next one, but right now, just like a couple other quarterbacks, he has the situation, I think, perfectly built around him. You got a decent offensive line. Running backs could be better, but the weapons he'll have on the outside with Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter out there, who we expect to. I expect him to major in offense early on, probably minor in defense.
But you know Trevor's age?
Do I know his age? 24, 25?
Yeah, 25. Yeah.
Okay.
He's only 25 years old.
25, third head coach already.
Yeah, third. So I talked about it yesterday.
Started with
learning new systems.
I think he's been in the league 10 years.
But Liam is good, though.
I know, right?
Liam Cohen is a good coach. He's a good play caller. They got good weapons on. They got good pieces on defense.
And no one's talking about him either. Like,
I like them. They're in a division
No
that
one
they
really
can,
talks
they
about
can
the
compete
Jags.
in, and I think we should find out. We should find a lot more out about Trevor Lawrence this year. Right now, currently about 2 days in on Madden, they're the team I use. So take that for what it's
you
worth.
take the Jags?
That they are my football team on Madden. And
So you don't love how Tank and Etienne are running? Because I heard that come out of your mouth.
And, I tell you what, Madden. First of all, I think, and I know Matt gets shit on a lot for a long time.
good.
Every year, this year the game is pretty fucking good. It's tougher to run the football. So. I minor and run. I made sure the pass game spread it out. Secure, have some integrity in my pocket, and find Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr. down the field. But they are a good football team, and I may be shopping for a new football team.
Oh wow!
This season.
Another one?
Really?
How many can
I'm not
you
a
have?
fan of a lot of decisions. What's going on around my 4 teams right now?
Which
I'm gonna have
teams
to
are those?
shuffle that up.
Which 4 of those? You
Fans?
can dump all
the
4.
fourth. It's the in no order.
Okay.
Colts, Dolphins, Eagles, Chargers. So you can.
What don't you like that the Eagles have been doing?
You can. I'm happy with the Eagles. I'm happy with how he fly Eagles fly. They do
You happy
things
with the
right.
Chargers too?
Love Harbaugh.
Okay, so
what's
Colts
year 2?
Colts in the
Harbaugh
fifth.
year 2? Yeah.
Mhm.
Figuring it out.
What about the
Figuring it out.
Fins?
So Colts fans, we got
The two teams he should actually care about. He's upset with.
We got. You tell me.
Yeah, that's what I said.
And I tell you what, I know you guys aren't a fan of it, but based on my ex mentions today, there's a lot of people coming over to my side. Hey, D-Bud, I'm picking up what you were putting down because they're signing up for potential misery for the next few months because of you're a fan of one program.
Oh, yeah. So you're saying, you need to have multiple teams
You're on a couple.
just for the happiness in your life.
Depends. I wouldn't say everybody. Like, if you're a Patriot fan, you're a Steelers fan, you're a Packers fan. Those, you can trust those organizations long term. So maybe you may go through some tough stretches, but they're going to do things right. They'll turn it around. There are some other shit out there. You don't want to be miserable for fucking 20 years, 30. You don't want to set your kids up for fucking failure. Come on, be better.
If you are a real fan, you actually care. You're right.
Yeah.
You're probably right. Because it's going to affect you. It definitely will affect your day-to-day if they're terrible.
Definitely.
Yeah, but Red Sox didn't win the World Series 1918 till 2004, and when they did, it was fucking incredible.
My freshman in college.
There's a lot of people that died before 2004 that say it wasn't. Probably, right, Gump? That were big fans of the Red Sox. That's my guess.
Yeah, but,
A couple guys died in 2003.
That's how it goes. I know D-Butch probably tell you right now it would mean a lot more to him if the Dolphins won a Super Bowl than the Eagles.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Hell
you
yeah.
can be fans of other team if that's what you want to do. I wouldn't do that, but it doesn't mean jack shit.
Well, I was pretty happy last year for Saquon and my Eagles.
I want to see what the Dolphins do, for real. You live in South Florida.
Yeah.
Is anyone talking?
Yeah. People are
Are they optimistic? Because it doesn't feel real. I don't feel a ton of optimism.
I would not say optimistic.
Might
It's been
be a
a long
good
time.
spot,
I think we're in the long. Do we have the longest playoff win drought right
Yeah,
now?
right.
By far,
26
yeah.
26 years.
24.
So
26.
So no.
Yeah, since the
And
Commanders.
we don't have our cornerback room is bad right now. The only thing we can look at and hold on to is Tua and the weapons.
Is Tyreek all right?
And yours is kind of breathing down too, isn't it?
I mean, we'll be able to blitz the shit out of quarterbacks with our front seven, but that's about it on defense.
You can't blitz without corners.
Never know. Zero. Maybe
No,
zero.
I do know.
Never
Actually.
know.
I know.
Tell you what, I'll bring zero blitz against Danny Dimes week 1. Let's see how it
He got to
goes.
step back and fade away and throw it up. That's what he's going to do.
Tell you one thing. That's one thing I can tell you. I know you can't blitz. You got to play it safe. And I mean,
We got Minka. We got Jack Jones. Asante Samuel in for a visit.
Right.
Who knows?
That's
There's
confirmed?
still time to add players. Yeah, his dad
players
quote
out there.
tweeted it.
Jack Jones looked really, really good against Amon-Ra St. Brown that one practice.
Yeah.
Come on now.
He's a good locker room
Tell
guy.
him we know what
You're
come
not-
on, we see what you're doing. It's
You're not
one-on-ones.
factoring
We're
that
working
in.
on things. It's called practice.
What are you talking about?
What?
I'm trying to be positive.
Said he's doing good.
Amon-Ra's one of the best players.
You see these Rouse Amon-Ra's running on these guys one-on-one with no pass rush?
That was nasty.
Let's get real. That's like, how do you do 15 moves within like a half a millimeter of a space? I don't know how anyone covers those guys.
He's so good. They're so good. I'm excited about Chop. I like Chop.
Yeah,
obviously.
I've heard good things about him.
He come in healthy and be a guy. Tyreek, he could have a bounce back year. Seems like Tua is taking a little more control, a little more command. Big year for, and nobody's probably sitting in that building, but outside looking in, it kind of seems like a hot seat year for Mike McDaniel.
Yeah.
So, and shit, you would say Chris Greer too. And so we'll see. But am I optimistic? Yeah.
Cautiously?
I am.
Cautiously
I am.
optimistic.
I have to be. It's August 19th.
Yeah, which means he's not. But, like we got to say we are.
He can read between the lines.
Just like Bruce and Abdul Carter, all of a sudden he's not good anymore because he got chipped once in the game.
No, he got better, actually.
I saw him set the
But what fans trying to I did see him setting the edge. It's beautiful. That's teach tape right there.
The only Jets highlight all year were belt the ass all night.
I mean, it's, maybe he didn't see it.
Weak ass chill.
Yeah, he ate that motherfucker like barbecue.
Bitch.
You're just, yes. I feel like I'm reading the tweets. Yeah. It's the tackle that gets you after that chip. Everyone gets caught in a chip every once in a while.
Yeah.
Watch him dip and rip around the edge if you want to talk about him, though. You kidding me?
Yeah.
Watch him spin inside. Rush upfield, spin back inside. I'm not blocking him.
Everyone's going to get got every once in a while.
Everybody.
I can handle that.
Gotta
It's
get
all right.
got more than you get got.
All right, fellas.
Bingo.
I think we're going to wrap this sucker up. I appreciate you guys, all the boys in the back. Thank you guys very much. Obviously, we had, Daniel Jeremiah, Adam Schefter, Marty Smith. Thank you all for coming. Tomorrow we'll have great guests as well. A guest co-host that you guys will see. Whatever human comes, knocking down that door, you guys will welcome with open arms. Can't wait. I will be back in Ohio, joining remotely. Boys, appreciate you. Everyone else, we're going to take a little bit of a break. We'll be back tomorrow with a guest host. Can't wait. A lot of energy, I bet, going to be in here tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
It should be a fun show. We'll see you then. Bye. We come back. Are we back?
We're back.
Vito?
Are we back?
Joke. Late April Fool's joke. Put him in here. Put him in here.
Talk about being asleep at the wheel.
Yeah, put him in here. I'm so in the moment. I'm just so in the moment, guys. Sorry about that. Hey, here we go.
Team.
Team on me. Team on three. 1, 2, 3.
Team.